much less enthusiasm for the Democrats.
Well, I mean, to Trump's point, the numbers are the numbers, which is why when I was on CBS last night doing a little bit of analysis myself on the election results, I mean, why don't we start talking about his first 100 days in terms of his governing agenda? Because this race is over, and I think he's going to beat Hillary Clinton. And the enthusiasm gap tells the tale. Virginia GOP tallied more than 1 million votes, shattering the record set in 2000 by more than 50%.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Democrats were 200,000 votes shy of their record, which was set in the 2008 primary between Hillary and Barack Obama. Barack Obama bringing people out, growing the party, at least participation. Tennessee, Republicans crossed the 800,000 vote mark, leapfrogging the previous record by nearly 50%.
And they did the same in Iowa and Nevada, too.
Well, they were
Republican turnout just,
in the first three
doubled.
states. It was up 27% compared to 2012. By contrast, Democrats down 25% compared to their record-setting 2008 campaign. So, I mean, that is a substantial increase in participation. Does it necessarily mean that all of those people will stay with Trump if he's the nominee against Hillary? Will some choose not to participate? Are some in the hashtag Never Trump camp? Sure. But he's got a margin for error if he's generating that kind of base support. And it's a little bit, it's not like necessarily bringing millennials into the process, but what he's doing is what the Republican Party has needed to do for generations, plural, particularly in Illinois, because I know this dynamic well. Bring Republicans who live conservative lives, people that are inclined to support the platform of the Republican Party, but who retired from the Republican Party because they saw no difference between the two parties, bring them out of retirement and back to participate. It's difficult to argue that is not precisely what Donald Trump is doing.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Your phone call is coming up next, 312-642-5600. Here's your forecast for today. Cold with some sunshine giving way to clouds by the afternoon. High of 31 degrees. Then tonight, a little snow late, accumulating a coating to an inch. And tomorrow, a bit of morning snow up to an inch. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and cold. A high of 32. Travel times. Let's get the latest from Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. Many roads are slippery and icy, especially in the suburbs. A lot of crashes this morning. There's one with injuries in South Elgin, 31 at McLean. There's also a crash in Palatine, which is under investigation. Southbound Quentin Road still closed from Wood to Palatine Road. A couple on the northwest side, actually three. One at Irving Park and Menard, one on Addison at Central Park. And at the intersection of Division, Milwaukee and Ashland, the lights are out, so careful there. Inbound Ryan, you've got a 2-minute delay now from 18th into downtown. Bishop Ford, just a brief tap of the brakes. Cottage Grove to the merge. The other expressways and tollways for now are good. Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com, Traffic Center.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. That's where Upstream Ideas comes in. Upstream Ideas, online at upstream-ideas.com, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussion happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted orthodoxies. In other words, Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now to upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com. Tasty Catering is bringing outdoor happiness to you and your coworkers in a variety of forms this picnic season.
Down-home barbecue, street tacos, sausages and sandwiches, steaks, chops, fish, Greek feasts, pig roasts, the list goes on.
Tasty Catering picnic foods are getting more deliciously sophisticated than ever, too, which means you can meet everyone's needs with even more great picnic food options.
Organic, gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, and dairy-free options never taste tasted so picnicky.
Your picnic doesn't stop with amazing freshly grilled food, entertainment, rentals, decor, venue selection. Get everything you need with one single call to Tasty Catering.
Inflatables and crafts for the kids, games and athletics for the teenagers, beverage packages and entertainment options for the adults. There's so much to choose from.
The best company picnics start at tastycatering.com. View picnic menus, entertainment options, picnic spots, and more when you visit tastycatering.com.
Don't take just any vacation, make it an Apple vacation and save up to 40% during the Spring Super Sale, featuring the biggest savings of the season. Picture this, a gorgeous resort, sun-drenched beaches, blue turquoise waters, and palm trees as far as the eye can see. Whether you're looking for an affordable weekend getaway or a full week of luxury, Apple Vacations has your trip perfectly priced. 7 nights of unlimited luxury at Dreams Via Magna Nuevo Vallarta start from only $11.99. Or make it a full week at Dreams Las Mareas, Costa Rica and save up to $800 per couple. Both trips include round-trip nonstop air, resort transfers, all meals, drinks, and taxes. Call Traveloni at 312-334-7876 to book your trip today. That's Traveloni, 312-334-7876 or visit Traveloni.com. Prices per person based on double occupancy for select departures starting May 6th, including charter air on Alaska or extra airways from O'Hare, and taxes and fees including September 11th security fee. See applevacations.com for baggage charges. Prices subject to availability and change. Restrictions apply. PC 15088 15094.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so if it comes down to Cruz and Trump, where are you going to be, Amy?
I don't know.
You probably won't have to make that choice. The good news for you, you're not going to have to make that choice on March 15th when we vote. Or if you early vote, you really wouldn't have to make that choice because Rubio's still going to be in. He's going to stick it out to mini Super Tuesday when it's Florida and Ohio and Illinois, North Carolina, Missouri.
I have a
which probably sets up better for him than it does Cruz. And not only did Cruz win 3 states and Rubio won 1 yesterday, they also kind of split the second place finishes.
right. Yep, and that's key to getting delegates and staying in the game.
But now here, let me see if I can persuade you at all.
Okay, and then I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay, but I want you. It's difficult to think. Well, Susan Collins, I suppose, the only U.S. senator, senator who's a Republican who's more milquetoast than Lindsey Graham, except when it comes to starting wars. And Lindsey Graham had this to say about the potential of Cruz versus Trump.
Short of a major scandal, probably not. And if Marco doesn't win Florida, I don't know how he goes forward if Kasich loses Ohio. You know, Ted Cruz is not my favorite by any means, and I don't wish him ill. I was making a joke about Ted. But we may be in a position where after rally around Ted Cruz is the only way to stop Donald Trump.
So you would,
and I'm not so sure that would work.
But you'd recommend that in order to stop Donald Trump, rally behind Ted Cruz.
I can't believe I would say yes, but yes.
Politics makes strange bedfellows, Amy.
Whoa. All right, so you always rip on my Cankle caucus, and
yes,
they're used to it
a
now.
cackle, too.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Don't forget the cackle.
Yeah, the cackle.
It's important.
Okay, so yesterday I was with my friends at East Bank Club, my Democratic friends who are smart, who know that Mike Madigan is fleecing taxpayers of Illinois. They know all of that. And
your rich Democrat friends at East Bank Club.
Yeah, so this is what 7 of them came up to me, and I'm not kidding you, after class and said, how about this? We all pull a Republican ballot for the primary and vote for Marco Rubio because we'd rather have him be, if somebody's going to beat Hillary, because they do think that Hillary's going to be indicted. They honestly believe that.
So does Donald Trump.
But so they want Marco Rubio. They do not want Donald Trump. Is that would that do anything at all? If they started a movement for Marco Rubio, pulling a Republican ballot on March 15th and voting for Marco Rubio.
I don't think 7 is going to cut it.
No, I know, but they wanted me to pick your brain to ask you that question.
Well,
I said, well, it's a start, but you're going to need to get all of your friends, and I know you have thousands of friends, people, that you're going to have to get on board with that.
I'm in the Bill Buckley School. You always leave room for people to come over to your side. So if they want to come over here to vote in the primary and then support the Republican nominee, if it's not Trump.
Oh, yeah, they're not going to vote for Hillary.
I'm down with that.
All right, because they're disenchanted, and I am too right now. If I had to choose between Trump and Cruz, I don't know what I'd do. I know what you would do.
Yes, I'm going to do it.
Yes, you are going to do it.
Kent and Joliet, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, Amy, you choose Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry. Donald Trump, it's amazing how Republicans are so adamant against him. The one thing you got to say for Democrats,
Kent,
Is that-
I'm sorry. We're having technical difficulties on our end with the phone. I
sounds like
I apologize for that.
Sounds like he swallowed R2D2.
Yeah, Roosevelt on the southwest side.
Good morning, guys. How you doing this morning?
Good.
I disagree with both of you. 2 days in a row, you've been saying that Trump beats Hillary. How does he do that without a respectful percentage of the Latino and black vote? And at the same time, part of the Republican Party splitting off and not voting for Trump or backing Trump. I mean, it started already 2 or 3 days.
Well, I would say two things to that, Roosevelt. One is the elites that have announced they would not back Trump represent fewer people than the number of people that he is bringing out of retirement to vote Republican specifically for Trump. That's number one. Number two, in terms of minorities, he is getting at least as high a percentage of the minority vote as any other Republican candidate in this race, and arguably in some states like Nevada with the Latino vote, significantly more. So I don't think that's going to be an inhibitor to Trump.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Did you know color is vital to your health? I'm talking about the color of the food you eat. A colorful diet is a part of staying well because many nutrients are color. Eating a wide variety of fruits and vegetables provides your body with the diverse chemistry it needs to heal itself and stay well. Now ask yourself, how many servings of fruits and vegetables did I eat today? Balance of Nature has solved this problem and provides an easy and affordable way to consume over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables every day. My name is Dr. Howard. I've recommended Balance of Nature for over 15 years because of the excellent results I see in my patients.
Good health is just a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Call now and take the health challenge to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
AM560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Bye-bye, Bernie. We say fare thee well to our comrade, friend, Bernie Sanders at 5:35.
But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning to Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. 18 degrees at 5:31, and front runners still on top after Super Tuesday. Democrat Hillary Clinton, Republican Donald Trump, each winning 7 states, scoring some victories in the South. Trump also winning 2 New England races. Clinton winning Massachusetts, while rival Bernie Sanders won his home state of Vermont.
Thank you. It is good to be home.
Clinton slamming Republicans after the Sanders win in Vermont, saying this is an important decision for Democrats.
It's clear tonight that the stakes in this election have never been higher, and the rhetoric we're hearing on the other side has never been lower.
Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump says there should now be some unity in the Republican Party after his wins.
I would love to see the Republican Party and everybody get together and unify. And when we unify, there's nobody that's going to beat us.
At a press conference in Florida, Trump congratulating rival Ted Cruz on winning his home state of Texas and Alaska. A group of New Jersey newspapers this morning is demanding that Governor Chris Christie resign. Papers are owned by Gannett. Ran a joint editorial calling Christie an embarrassment and a disgrace. Abortion providers in Texas are fighting to keep clinics open. Supreme Court will hear arguments later today against a law requiring physicians to have admitting privileges and clinics to build surgical centers in order to stay open. It's a serious situation this morning in Iraq, where engineers say a dam seized by ISIS is in danger of collapsing and could kill 1 million people living along the Tigris River. Engineers say machinery in the Mosul Dam has not been replaced since the terror group seized it in 2014. He's back home this morning for the first time in almost a year. American astronaut Scott Kelly rediscovering gravity.
A one-year crew returning from whence it began in Kazakhstan 340 days ago. Scott Kelly, Mikhail Kornienko back on Earth.
Kelly and his Russian counterpart traveled 144 million miles. More snow on the way for the Chicago area later tonight. A judge has dismissed a claim that GOP presidential candidate Ted Cruz is not eligible for the Illinois ballot because he was born in Canada. And an Illinois woman who pleaded guilty to fraud charges for lying about terminal ovarian cancer has been sentenced to 3 years in prison. Story will follow this morning out of the southern Illinois city of Belleville. Chicago sports, Miami over the Bulls, 129-111. College buckets, Villanova top DePaul. Eastern Michigan over our northern Illinois Huskies. The news, a service of the Foundation for a Better Life. Mr. Rogers passed along friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity hopes now is the time the Senate will stand up to the president.
Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, declared that he's not going to act on any Supreme Court nomination by Obama, declaring the vacancy should not be filled until after Obama leaves office. And I hope these guys hold the line. They have all the power to stop this. There's nothing that will stop them from doing it except if they get in their own way.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
The Chicago Symphony Orchestra returns to Edmund Memorial Chapel at Wheaton College on March 23rd. Russian conductor Yuri Tamerkanov leads the CSO in works by Rachmaninoff and Brahms. Opening the program is Rachmaninoff's noble and demanding Piano Concerto No. 3 featuring pianist Denis Matsuev, followed by Brahms' Sunniest Symphony No. 2. Don't miss the CSO at Wheaton College on March 23rd. Tickets start at $45. For tickets, call 312-294-3000 or visit cso.org.
My name is David Hochberg, and I'm Vice President of Lending at Pearl Mortgage. That's right, I'm now Vice President of Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. I'm the same guy that's provided listeners with honest advice and outstanding customer service for the past 13 years. The only thing that's changed is where I work. When you needed help refinancing after the Big Corner Bank messed up your loan, even though you've heard thousands of my ads telling you not to waste your time at the Big Corner Bank, you called me and I helped you. If you would like to talk to me about a mortgage, please give me a call at 312-751-1333. That's 312-751-1333. Email me at david@pearldavid.com. That's david@PERLDavid.com. Or visit my website, am560david.com. 312-751-1333. Pearl Mortgage is an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee, 4358, licensed by DBO under California RMLA and MLS 19186. PearlMortgage.com licensing.
In our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center this morning, let's get the latest on your commute. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. And Palatine southbound Quentin remains closed from Wood to Palatine Road for crash investigation. Northwest side of Chicago, lights are out at the busy intersection of Division, Ashland, and Milwaukee. Edens inbound traffic is stop and go. Gulf Road to Dempster. Crash in the right lane. 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. The Kennedy is fine, so is the Eisenhower, so is the Stevenson. Inbound Ryan, it's now a 4-minute delay from Stevenson to downtown. Bishop Ford, delay started 115th, 6-minute delay from there to the Ryan. Traffic is a service of Chipotle. Chipotle committed to serving responsibly sourced ingredients prepared with classic cooking techniques, like responsibly raised chicken, marinated in Chipotle pepper adobo, and grilled to perfection. Find a location near you at chipotle.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Cold today. Sunshine will give way to clouds. A high of 31 and a very chilly start to your morning. 13 at O'Hare, 19 along the lakefront, 16 at Midway. And your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Tinley Park Home and Garden Expo. Enjoy the Home and Garden Expo March 4th and 5th at the Tinley Park Convention Center.
AM 560, The Answer.
It's Dan and Amy. And Amy, I'll tell you what, one of the feelings I had last night, and
Because it's more than a feeling, yes.
yes, thank you,
You're
Boston.
very welcome.
Yeah. And by the way, Trump won Boston. He won Massachusetts
He did
going
with
away.
Reagan Democrats. They said they're the people that put him over the top
But
in Massachusetts.
That was a blow. He won by 30 points.
I know. It was a bloodbath because 20,000 Democrats switched and pulled Republican ballots and voted for the Trumpster.
He's also winning a lot of Republicans, Republican primary voters. But Trump won so many states last night.
How many states did he?
He
7.
won. Well, I mean, if you're gonna,
let's-
to set me up, if you're going to give me the
Okay.
Johnny Carson setup,
Do you want to try it again?
he won so many states that I got tired of winning. Thank you. And he warned me that would happen.
Yes, he
that
did.
we're going to win so much that you get tired of winning. I'm already tired
Of
all of the Trump winning. I truly.
Hey, you know what? Ted Cruz, though, yesterday during, when he was on one of his campaign stops, said, if I don't win Texas, I don't deserve to be in this race. Trust me, I'm going to win Texas. And he did.
And he won going away. It was Trump finishing second, but a big victory for Cruz there. And he parlayed that next door to Oklahoma. And then late night, he also won Alaska. So Cruz gets to make the argument that I'm the alternative to Donald Trump. Time to rally around the Cruz flag. And I know that doesn't set well with a lot of Beltway GOP fat cats like yourself. Who are supporting Rubio, the lobbyist class like Amy Jacobson,
yes,
the super
exactly.
PAC
They're-
billionaire class like
Yes.
Amy Jacobson.
I've donated nothing to a super PAC, but I watch them. Yes.
So, so Cruz kind of started to prosecute his argument about the choice that Republicans had last night, and they will have on March 15th and going forward.
America shouldn't have a president whose words would make you embarrassed if your children repeated them.
Good point.
We can nominate a Washington dealmaker, profane and vulgar, who has a lifelong pattern of using government power for personal gain. Or we can nominate a proven conservative who has fought consistently for working men and women and to defend the Constitution.
Cruz is the second one.
Yes.
Yeah, he was.
But I have to tell you, Donald Trump last night, he seemed to shift his stance to be more moderate. I mean, he was talking about, the first question out of the box after he gave his lengthy speech that was just repeating the same talking points over and over. The reporter from CNN got up and asked him about Planned Parenthood. And she said, well, you're not, the everyday Republican because you support Planned Parenthood.
I'm just doing what's right. Look, Planned Parenthood has done very good work for millions of women. And I'll say it, and I know a lot of the so-called conservatives, they say that's really, because I'm a conservative, but I'm a common sense conservative. But
Now
millions of women have been helped by Planned Parenthood. But we're not going to allow and we're not going to fund as long as you have the abortion going on at Planned Parenthood. And we understand that. And I've said it loud and clear.
So
it's a good way for him to kind of have it both ways on Planned Parenthood, which is one of the reasons I don't trust him. And so many don't. They don't buy it. And by the way, he's a conservative and describing himself as a common conservative for, about the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I've used Planned Parenthood just for routine checkups when I was making, when I made $10,000 a year as a reporter. And, not all Planned Parenthoods offer abortions, but I do agree with him on that. Planned Parenthood has done work for millions of women, but if they got out of the abortion business, then I would support him. But until that point, I'm not going to support him.
the entire business model is abortion. I mean, I don't want to have to relitigate Planned Parenthood, but it's just silly. If they didn't do the main thing that they do, then I wouldn't be so bothered with them. If they didn't do the main thing they do, they wouldn't be in existence. They wouldn't be who they are. That's their main thing.
I know. I just wish they wouldn't be funded by our tax dollars. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I mean,
But that was the first question out of the box. Are you a true Republican because you're supporting Planned Parenthood?
well, but Trump he made a pretty sharp turn to a general election sensibility when he talked about unifying the party and that he's a uniter, not a divider, to borrow a paraphrase.
Look, I'm a unifier. I know people are going to find that a little bit hard to believe, but believe me, I am a unifier. Once we get all of this finished, I'm going to go after one person. That's Hillary Clinton, on the assumption she's allowed to run, which is a big assumption. I don't know that she's going to be allowed to run. And I think that's frankly going to be an easy race. You see the polls. I beat Hillary in many polls. I know one thing. I don't think Marco is going to be able to beat her. I don't think, in all fairness, I think Ted's going to have a very hard time. But Ted at least has a shot because at least he's won a little bit.
I don't know what's more painful, Donald Trump winning 7 states or my Iowa Hawkeyes losing to Indiana by 3 points for the Big Ten title. It both happened simultaneously. I was watching both screens at the same time. I don't know. What do you think?
More important, the future of our nation or Iowa basketball? Boy, that's a tough call.
Okay, we'll get back. Yeah.
So the interesting thing is Donald Trump, whichever opponent is in his sights, that opponent is not even eligible to run, right? Ted Cruz isn't, Rubio isn't. This is the first time he actually could be right, that Hillary will be ineligible to run because she'll be on the wrong side of the bars. Oh, Sharon in Addison, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I'm going to put my vote in for Cruz, and here's why. Trump has been all over the map with what he wants, and when he made a comment about liking the lesser educated voters out there, I guess he likes making a fool out of people, but he said one thing to the New York Times, something different to the voters. So I don't know why he'd be outright lying to the voters, but he's more political and more of an insider in his behavior than even McConnell. Cruz went up there and he fought against the Senate because they just wanted to keep the same establishment garbage going. This is why he doesn't have any friends. It isn't that he isn't a man without honor, and I think he's got the most of all the candidates. But I think he's really going to do what he says he's going to do. Trump has backpedaled on the wall. He's backpedaled on throwing out illegal aliens. He's had so many different shades of what he's wanted to do that I lost track, So this is why my vote is going for Cruz.
Thanks for the call, Sharon. Well said. Text from 708. How many disgruntled Sanders supporters will cross over and vote for Trump? Trump did make a Don Rickles reference last night for the kids to show how current he is. So that may have appeal.
He was talking about Marco Rubio, though, when he made the Don Rickles reference.
Oh, no. Yes, he was.
It was priceless. But also, too, he said, real quickly, he said he can get things done in a half hour. Did you know, Dan, that it just takes 30 minutes to bring different sides together? I
could sit in a room or the Oval Office for a period of literally a half hour. And I really believe I could get every single person. It's one thing. They don't agree on health care, or they don't agree on Common Core, or they don't agree on other things, and they'll fight. Here's something. Almost everybody agrees. These trillions and trillions of dollars should be brought into the country. The president can't make a deal. The reason is he doesn't know how to make a deal, probably doesn't work at it, probably doesn't care, but you're talking about tremendous amounts of money. So when you have something that everybody wants and you can't make a deal, there's something going on that's really wrong. And what it means is you have the wrong leader.
Yeah. Text from Steve on 88. We were talking about how Trump has, at least he seems to be the proximate cause of substantially increased turnout on the GOP side. Steve on 88, you know how some companies have the nerve to complain when a salesman brings in a lot of customers? Yeah, that's the Republican Party. There's something to that. You can disavow Trump or criticize him for some of the things he said or not said. But the GOP Beltway elites, the party leaders, the poobahs that pull the levers and turn the dials, would be wise if they want to continue this going concern called the Republican Party, would be wise to make an explicit appeal to all those people that have come out of retirement or crossed over to support Trump that, yeah, this is your home. We may disagree on who should be the head of the household right now, but this is your home, and we hear you loud and clear that you don't feel that we have rallied to your concern and defended your interests as aggressively as we should have, particularly over the last couple of cycles when we've moved from a minority position in the House to a minority position in the Senate. to a majority. This is an opportunity for the Republicans that extends beyond the Trump candidacy that more people should seize than just Trump.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today, cold with some sunshine giving way to clouds, but enjoy it because more snow is on the way. Tonight, it begins light snow accumulating to a coating to an inch. And then tomorrow morning snow up to an inch. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and cold, a high of 32 degrees. Let's get the travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Northwest side of Chicago, lights are out at the busy intersection of Division, Milwaukee, and Ashland. Eden's inbound slow golf to Dempster with a crash in the right lane. It's only a 1 or 2 minute delay, and the outbound Eden's is clear. Kennedy still fine. Same goes for the Eisenhower. Inbound Stevenson, just a little heavy Pulaski to Kedzie. Inbound Ryan, looking at 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound fine at 15. Bishop Ford, 21 minutes, 80-94 to the Ryan. In Palatine, southbound Quentin, still closed Wood to Palatine Road for crash investigation. Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
If you've thought about enrolling your kids in private schools but thought you couldn't afford it, we want to tell you about halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find dozens of local private schools that are offering vouchers for a full year of tuition. You guessed it, half the price, there's no catch. Find a school near you, purchase a tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school this fall. It's really that simple. Halfpriceschools.com has schools located all across the Chicagoland area, including Palatine, Hoffman Estates, Grays Lake, South Holland, Chicago. Now, this might make private schools a real option for your family for the first time, but trust me, don't wait. These vouchers sell out every year, so visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Hi there, it's me, Lou Manfredini. When I give home improvement advice, I take it seriously because it affects the value of your home. So I only recommend quality products. To replace drafty old windows and patio doors that stick, there's Marvin Windows and Doors. They're built around you. You know, every Marvin window and door is made to order using the finest materials and craftsmanship. There's value in that. Get more styles and options. Increase your home's curb appeal. Bring the outdoors in. And Marvin Windows and Doors are energy efficient to help lower your heating and cooling bills. In fact, they have over 150,000 window and door products that are Energy Star certified. For serious advice on how Marvin Windows and Doors can work for your remodeling or replacement project, contact your local Marvin retailer.
Midwest Siding at 847-979-8230 for quality Marvin windows and doors. Or visit them online at MidwestSiding.com. Call them about your project today. 847-979-8230.
Hi, this is Dr. David Kolbaba. So you get yourself one of those blood tests with all the poking and prodding. They're always looking for some kind of bad news. Most blood tests these days are very lacking, only screening you for the big, bad, and ugly diseases, with you never really getting the good news or even knowing what to do with the not so good news. So let me tell you about our dirt cheap comprehensive blood test. First of all, we'll be testing a wide variety of different health factors and not just the ugly few. And then we're going to sit down with you and strategize with all that we learned from your blood test findings. And I promise that you're going to know more about what you can do to help improve your health using a more natural, common sense approach. And for over 33 years, we've been very successful at setting people free from their toxic medications. It's our dirt cheap comprehensive blood test. Call 800-794-1855. You can't get any cheaper than dirt cheap. That's 800-794-1855. Be sure to tune in to Health Quest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, this Saturday morning at 11. AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking Super Tuesday, and I want to get to Bernie because he has moved now from a competitor to a participant.
Will you stop it? No, he received 418 delegates.
He won 4 states, which is as many as Cruz and Rubio combined, and everybody consensus opinion is Sanders is done, other than as a movement.
Won his home state of Vermont, Oklahoma, Minnesota, and Colorado.
But I mean, I know the dynamics are different with how the two parties do the delegate count, and I know it's a one-on-one race versus a competitive race, but I think it is just interesting. Sanders won as many states as Rubio and Cruz combined, and we're still, the math, and, I know we're 20 games out in June, but we could still make a rally and
But speaking of numbers,
win the division.
You've got to hear this. In Oklahoma, between 18 to 29-year-olds, Bernie Sanders received 82% of the vote.
Yeah.
82% in Oklahoma.
It's one of the reasons why Hillary's in trouble. The other reason is the universe on the Dem side is shrinking. Greg in Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Just a quick interjection there. Keep in mind, if Hillary disappears, who's going to be there?
That's what's the scary part.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders, right.
That's right, my point. Okay, essay question. Discuss Brian Priebus' state of mind this morning and what he's going to do about it.
Well,
Repeat the question.
Thanks, Greg. What Reince Priebus is going to do,
yeah.
what his state of mind is this morning, what he's going to do. But I can't. I mean, I don't know.
He stood by Trump, though, in the past.
Well, he's not interjecting himself because it's really not his place to say who should or shouldn't be the nominee. That's only going to foster more energy behind Trump if he were to do that. Paul Ryan waded in on some of Trump's comments, and Trump responded to that last night. But the state of mind is an interesting question. Look, I don't know when the full realization is going to occur with some of the Republican Party leadership that this is a movement. This is a psychological event. It is not substantive. So talking about, this eminent domain case or that Trump University case, it's not going to be enough. What can he do? I don't know. What can anyone do? If Trump piles up the delegates, the only thing you can do is rally around some kind of third-party candidate that you can identify to run as a conservative alternative.
Yeah, but then Hillary Clinton's guaranteed to win.
I don't know that that's true.
Oh, I think so.
I
think
mean,
that would split the Republican vote. It just seemed like it happened to HW.
I think
with Ross Perot.
I think that would be the likely outcome. But I think this whole election cycle, and when you have a movement going on, frankly, in both parties, different constituencies, of course, but movement with Bernie Sanders, movement with Donald Trump of the disaffected, it creates dynamics that are hard to predict in just a kind of a linear way like we're used to predicting elections.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you suffer from depression, consider TMS, an incredible new advancement in treating and relieving depression.
I'm Gina, and I suffered with depression for 19 years. And like most people, I tried medications and I couldn't tolerate the side effects, and they never worked properly for me. TMS was a great thing. It helped me out so much. Now I have the sparkle back in my eyes, and I'm able to feel great about life again. It worked really great for me, and I would absolutely recommend it to anybody suffering with depression.
TMS, or transcranial magnetic stimulation, is a safe, non-invasive, and highly effective treatment for drug-resistant depression. Most insurance companies cover TMS, including Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and Medicare. Depression can be beaten, and without drugs. To schedule a free consultation, call Theramind at 847-562-5868 or go to tmsmind.com.
Turnkey is a name you've come to know and trust on AM 560. Turnkey IT provides small businesses with IT resources normally reserved for Fortune 500 companies. They provide world-class network installations and ongoing IT support for fixed monthly rates based on the size of your network. In fact, Turnkey IT is a program that fits the needs of your business. Turnkey IT understands that your business matters and that keeping you focused on it makes all the difference in the world. Best of all, their service can save you time and money. Turnkey IT can give you the peace of mind that backups are being executed, email is always available, files are secure, and you've got someone to call when you need help. Turnkey IT has people who are professional, friendly, on time, and a live person even answers the phone 24 hours a day. So visit turnkey.pro today for a plan that fits your needs. That's turnkey.pro.
You are a sign business, you want to grow, and you want to make more money. So do I. I want to partner with you. This is Dave Carlson, and my sign company is Franco Carlson & Company. We've been doing business in Chicago since 1894. With millions of dollars of state-of-the-art equipment, we can do any job. Trade shows, bus and vehicle wraps, banners for special events, even custom wallpaper. We can help you expand your sign business. If there is an order, any order, or a piece of business that you don't have the capabilities to do yourself, we can do it with you. You don't have to turn away any sign or print business any longer. Speed and quality to meet your deadlines. You have my word on that. Expand your sign business. Take any order. Make more money. Become a partner with Franco Carlson & Company. Contact me for a quote or stop by for a tour of our shop. Franco Carlson & Company. We are the sign company's partner.
Call Franco Carlson & Company at 773-847-6900. 773-847-6900.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Trump says Paul Ryan and he will get along famously, and Paul Ryan will pay a price if they don't. We'll have that at 6:06.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're following today. More snow could be on the way in your forecast, especially for the evening. 2 planes slide off runways at O'Hare. Judge dismisses a petition challenging Ted Cruz's eligibility to be on the ballot in the state of Illinois. Gary murder's suspect was nabbed in Texas. Trump, Clinton, big Super Tuesday winners, but nothing really decided after voting yesterday. Apple is filing an appeal against an iPhone order, and Nashville police say a teen shoots a family. Stories that Fox is following for us this morning. Bulls lose their 3rd straight, this time to the Heat. Cold day ahead. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Dave Anthony.
What a Super Tuesday!
Hillary Clinton won big, and so did Donald Trump.
I'm going to be very good for the world. I'm going to get along with the world.
They both won 7 states, but lost 4. We have live reports in both races. First, Fox's Rachel Sutherland on the Democrats, live from Miami.
Dave, Hillary Clinton raked in the delegates as she swept key southern states on Super Tuesday. She rallied supporters last night here in Miami.
The stakes in this election have never been higher, and the rhetoric we're hearing on the other side has never been lower.
Bernie Sanders won 4 states, including his home state of Vermont, and is vowing to press on.
35 states remain.
Next up for Democrats on Saturday, Kansas, Louisiana, and Nebraska. Now with a recap of the Republican contest, Fox's Tanya J. Powers in West Palm Beach, where Trump rallied.
Well, Rachel, Donald Trump said he's the one who can bring the GOP together.
I'm a unifier. I know people are going to find that a little bit hard to believe, but believe me, I am a unifier.
Ted Cruz won his home state of Texas, as well as Oklahoma and Alaska. He's now calling on those who haven't won states to drop out of the race.
So long as the field remains divided, Donald Trump's path to the nomination remains more likely.
Marco Rubio took Minnesota, getting his first campaign win.
What's at stake, my friends, is not just the future of America, but also the future of the conservative movement.
Next up, the Fox News Channel debate tomorrow night in Detroit, Dave.
Now, Tanya, there were people in Alabama cleaning up from what could have been a tornado damage that left 4 people injured yesterday. Some people in western New York had a bad night. A freight train carrying hazardous liquids derailed in Ripley and leaked ethanol, prompting 45 homes to be evacuated. That leak was contained around 4:30 this morning. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Skies are clear. We have 17 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. More snow could be on the way for the Chicago area, likely to fall tonight, 1 to 3 inches. Possible. Snowy and icy conditions at O'Hare yesterday led to a small jet sliding off a runway, and Embraer Phenom and a McDonnell Douglas MD-83 slid on a taxiway, then had to be towed, according to the FAA. The judge has dismissed a claim that GOP presidential candidate Ted Cruz isn't eligible for the Illinois ballot. Cook County Circuit Court Judge Maureen Kirby tossed that case. Lawrence Joyce failed to give copies of that suit to Cruz or state electoral board members, as required by Illinois law.
All along has been keeping Senator Cruz from being the nominee of the party.
Joyce arguing the Texas senator can't be president because he was not born in the U.S. He was born in Canada. Chicago police officer faces sentencing today for the unprovoked beating of a convenience store clerk that was caught on camera. AM 560's David Stewart with the recap.
As in the Laquan McDonald case, video of the 2012 case of Officer Aldo Brown contradicted his account of the confrontation with store clerk JQ Howard. The camera shows Brown and his partner searching for evidence of marijuana sales after Howard was handcuffed. Howard was then uncuffed, and the video shows the 6'3", 235-pound Brown punched the much smaller Howard in the face, the ribs, and then after dragging him down the aisle, in the face again. Brown was convicted in October after testifying that he struck Howard out of fear for his life. Prosecutors asking for 2.5 years in prison, but Brown's attorney says that Brown should get probation because of his heroic career. David Stewart, Chicago.
A suburban Oak Forest police officer faces charges in the stabbing of a teen in California. Authorities say Arthur Roman was involved in a fight Sunday outside a Huntington Beach gym. Federal agents in Texas have arrested a Gary woman who's been evading arrest for the killing of two brothers in Hobart for 5 months. 33-year-old Jerry Woods was charged along with 6 others in the September shooting deaths of teen brothers Arion and Antonio Lackey. Bulls fall to Miami 129-111. In this game, by the way, if you like stats, the Heat set a franchise record by shooting 67% from the field. Villanova or DePaul 83-62. Eastern Michigan topped our Northern Illinois Huskies on a last-second three, 75-71. The news, a service of Subway. Try the Subway Simple 6 menu. 6 meals, $6 each, including a 6-inch sub like tuna, chips, and 21-ounce drink. Prices and participation may vary. Additional charge for extras, including deluxe subs, plus applicable tax. See store for menu selections. 6:04 is our time. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
America right now is better off than it's ever been. Man, if I thought that, I wouldn't fight.
The Joe Walsh Show.
52% of young people would do away with the First Amendment. We have people being fined and threatened with jail time for exercising their religious freedom. Yes, I am a pessimist, but that's why I fight.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
The stock market seems like it's in turmoil. 2016 has already proven to be a roller coaster ride. Is there another big correction on the horizon? Are you prepared? Or are you at the mercy of stockbrokers if it does happen? Let Online Trading Academy teach you how to navigate the stock market during these changing times. They offer professional trading and investing education for every skill level. They'll teach you a rules-based strategy, trading on knowledge, not speculations, so you can identify market changes before they happen. Online Trading Academy has a state-of-the-art educational facility centrally located in Lombard. Call today, 888-601-TRADE. That's 888-601-8723 to attend a free half-day course. Call now and mention you heard this message on AM 560 The Answer, and they'll send you home with a free home video study course valued at $247 just for attending. This is a great opportunity to learn from the pros. Reservations are limited, so call now, 888-601-8723 or online at freeotaclass.com.
At GoDaddy, a domain name is the beginning of something awesome. Use it to create a website to promote your business. Open an online store to sell your products. Start a blog. Build your brand. You can even connect your domain to your LinkedIn or Facebook page. And GoDaddy customer support is always ready to help. What will you do with your domain name? Get a free domain with website from GoDaddy.com, starting at $1 a month. Annual purchase of website builder required. Price valid first year only. See website for details.
In my line of work, I'm trying to make a difference. Not $1 billion, but I do want to be able to save for the future. So this year I partnered with TIAA to help me map out what I should be doing. Together, we came up with a personalized plan for my finances. And now it seems like a life of rewarding work just might pay off for a lifetime.
See how we're helping those who do good do well at the new TIAA.org. TIAA, created to serve, built to perform.
6:07. Let's get an update on the roads. ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center time. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. In Palatine, southbound Quentin remains closed from Wood to Palatine Road due to an earlier crash and ongoing investigation. Northwest side of Chicago, lights are out. Division at Ashland and Milwaukee. Edens inbound at Dempster, a crash has cleared, so traffic moves well now in the Edens. Kennedy's still fine, too. Inbound Eisenhower, little slow first Avenue to Harlem, then at Racine with a crash on the right side. 31 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound fine at 29. Stevenson is 36 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 21 minutes, 80-94 to the Ryan. Tollways are good. Traffic serves of Massage Envy. At Massage Envy, they know there's nothing like relaxation. That's why their first-time guests can relax with a customized massage, only $49.99, or facial for only $59.99. Schedule today at Massage Envy. See clinics for details. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. The latest with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Sunshine followed by clouds today with a high 32, then a little late night snow tonight, accumulating a coating to an inch, low 26. Bit of snow left over for the morning, a coating to an inch, otherwise mostly cloudy and breezy, high 32. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
13 at O'Hare, 19 along the lakefront, 16 at Midway. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Make America great again or make America whole again?
Hill Dog, man, it's getting so old.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Get your reactions to Super Tuesday results, where you think this is going, if anybody, including Donald Trump, can stop Donald Trump. And is making America great again and making America whole again. Ugh.
May I?
Are they mutually exclusive?
And we know we've got work to do. But that work is not to make America great again. America never stopped being great. We have to make America whole. We have to fill in.
Fill in America. Ooh, gross. Get your hands off me.
She's got to come up with a new line because I have that memorized.
Yeah. She also had this to say. I mean,
she had a big win yesterday. She won 7 states.
Yeah, that's nice.
She's halfway there. If you look at the delegate counts, she's halfway to locking it in.
Hillary Clinton talking about love and kindness. Is there anything more surreal?
I believe what we need in America today is more love and kindness.
And she's going to pass a law mandating it. Speaking of love and kindness, how about this story out of Minnesota? Muslim immigrant explains why she's supporting Trump. Trump sticker made its way onto her hijab, and she was handed...
Wait. She had a Trump sticker on her
hijab? Yeah.
Do you have a picture of that?
It's the New York Times story. I'm not making it up.
No, I know. I just want to see a photo, Dan. I'm a visual person.
Fadumo Youssef.
Got it.
Was handed a large Trump sign and directed to the front of the group so she could be interviewed by a local news station. Muslim immigrant, came from Ethiopia, 34 years old, lives in Minneapolis. Her and her husband went to this gathering at the American Legion in Richfield, Minnesota, the other day, and she said this: "From the minute I came inside, this is a Trump rally, everybody welcomed me. It showed me a different thing, not hate but love." She's not a big fan of Trump's putting a pause on Muslims immigrating to the country, but she said, "I believe he has a heart, so I will overlook that." Remember, I keep saying this is psychological. It's not substantive. It's not about a particular policy. It's not about a wall. It's not about a trade pact. It's psychology. It's how people are thinking and feeling, mostly the latter. He doesn't know a lot about the Muslim community, Miss Youssef went on. "I want to give him a chance to see who we are. We are not terrorists. We are great Muslim Americans. We are his people." She went on to say, "We need the wall, but I'm concerned also about the lives of people who want to come to this country because they are seeking help." Here's the basis. She believes that Donald Trump will be a great jobs president, and Miss Youssef, who earned an accounting degree from a community college in St. Paul in 2010, says she's applied for more than 20 accounting positions but hasn't gotten an offer. She's working 2 part-time jobs, earning $11 an hour as a physical therapist, $9 an hour working in childcare. To cover expenses for her 15-month-old son, she's borrowing on her mom's credit card. She writes, or she said, "It feels to me like you should be better than this. You shouldn't be using your mom to get by." And this is an example of people who are disaffected from what has happened under the rule of Republican establishment types and Democrat establishment types over the last 12 years, or even over the last 7 in particular. And it transcends, to a large extent, it transcends the traditional demography of this race or this gender or this age group or this education level. And it's just something I think that people are having a very difficult time to come to terms with, because Donald Trump is such a blunt instrument. I am too, as it pertains to Trump, but I don't think we're spending enough time addressing the underlying issue that gave rise to Trump, and also how Trump was able to unleash this.
Okay, what was the underlying issue that gave rise to Trump? I know everybody wants an outsider. They're sick of the government. Everyone who's polled said they're, 42% of the people, during exit polls in Oklahoma said they're angry with the government and the federal government, and Congress's, approval ratings are at an all-time low. But what was it?
Well, Trump said
created this.
Trump said part of it in his press conference at Mar-a-Lago last night, that the last 12 years, middle-income people have seen their real household income decline. And I would put it this way, as I did so eloquently on CBS 2 last night.
So you were on CBS 2 with who? What time were you on? Tell me a little bit about yourself, Dave.
My home slice, Rob Johnson.
Oh, yeah, I love Rob.
Yeah.
Great guy.
We talked about the Republican side, and then Avis Lavelle, former Daley and Clinton Gore press secretary, dissected the Democrat side. I was more than capable to do both.
I'm sure you
were.
were.
But I demurred
Did you say,
to Miss
excuse
Lavelle.
me, can I get in here, Miss
Yeah,
Lavelle?
excuse me. I'm sorry.
I'll take
I've
what
got
you
it.
said.
Yeah,
I'm going to double
right.
down. Yeah.
Camera's over here.
Yeah.
No, but I just, in one sentence, I think I've said it on the show before, people who live small c conservative lives, not ideological, not, living in an ivory tower like me and, reviewing capitalism and freedom in my evening hours, right? But people who play by the rules, live within their means, believe in personal responsibility, and who have been hurt financially and ridiculed culturally by a party to which they affiliate or want to affiliate, the leadership of which, and they're done with it. And I don't know how people can make it any more clear. And here's the thing that's interesting about it. So that's been the case for a while. I mean, that was the Tea Party in 2010 in response to Obamacare. Yep. That was the Republican takeover of the Senate in 2014 in response to Obama. And in 2016, it's the same thing. What Donald Trump has done is essentially give voice to all of the anger and frustration, however intemperate it sometimes comes across. And here's the thing, the positive thing that he's done, though. Here's the positive thing Donald Trump's done. If you read Eric Hoffer's Theory of Mass Movements, Eric Hoffer, longshoreman turned philosopher, not a man of letters, but very insightful guy, great philosopher. He said basically you need two things to happen to start a mass movement, which is what I believe the Trump candidacy is. It's a proxy for a mass movement. Yeah. You need people to believe that they're in control of their own destiny, and you need people to believe that they can improve their conditions. What Donald Trump has done is move people from despondency on those two items to belief that, yes, they can improve their conditions because, yes, they're in charge of their own destiny, at least if we have new leadership in the White House. He's made them believe. That is what you have to get to, not some of the kind of all of the 180s Donald Trump has done on particular positions or all of the silly, absurd things he says. People are dismissing that because of this underlying belief that he has instilled in them. And at least a plurality of the Republican electorate, and it's real.
So in the next 2 weeks, though, there's certain super PACs, one American Future Fund that's going to be backed by the Ricketts, and they're going to try, like you know what, to bring down Donald Trump.
Too late.
If the Trump ties are made in China, they're going to go after the fact that he hired illegals from Poland to build his buildings. Nothing. None of that is sticking.
I don't think so.
His tax returns, he didn't donate enough money as he said he did to Wounded Warriors and other philanthropic.
Well, you're not going to. You won't know. You won't know on that score. Is he going to release his tax returns by March 15th?
No,
I doubt
no.
it. Right. So you won't know. Is he going to ask the New York Times to release the quote unquote secret tape of him talking about immigration that was off the record? Probably not.
No, he's not going to.
So some of this is going to be warmed over, but
People are going to be spending millions of dollars in the next 2 weeks to bring him down.
They have been. The only person not spending millions of dollars is Donald Trump. This is a great Butterfield effect moment. Reuters story. Trump's low advertising spending weighs on U.S. broadcasters. They can't figure out why he's not spending a lot of money on advertising.
He doesn't need to.
Right. Wall-to-wall coverage.
This is his campaign strategy, and it's worked brilliantly.
Right. But, I mean, I just love that the broadcasters who are covering every utterance he makes in a 24-hour news cycle can't figure out why he's not spending money. He's got a 24-hour long-form ad that is rolling and looping. Jeff in Mundelein, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
It's everything. It's the politicians, it's the news media, it's the celebrities. They all get a voice, and we have to listen to it. And that's not how we feel anymore. We're fed up, and we just feel that we're supposed to do what they want us to do, and we know that it's going to hurt us more than it's going to hurt them.
Yeah.
We're tired of it, and we don't have a voice. We got to hear it all the time. It's with those talk shows, The View, and on and on and on. We have to listen to it. Our only voice is our vote. That's all we have.
Thanks for the call, Jeff. I mean, I think that's a very good articulation of, and it's a good representation of what people are feeling, what people are thinking and saying. And I said, I understand. I think Trump is the wrong vehicle for it. But I totally get what Jeff is saying. And Trump was the first out of the box to effectively say, as Victor Davis Hanson observed, look, all these people and all those institutions Jeff from Mundelein just ticked off, I know them all, and they're even worse than you think.
Our leaders are stupid.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up next, Donald Trump has some words of warning for Paul Ryan. You'll hear it here. But first, here's your forecast. Today it's going to be cold, but sunshine. That's good, and a high of 31 degrees because tonight the snow begins, and by tomorrow we'll have anywhere from a dusting of up to an inch. And then it'll be cloudy and cold, of course, by the afternoon, a high of 32 degrees. Lights still out on the northwest side. Here's Jim Talamonte with the answer.
Yes, Amy, expect congestion at the normally busy intersection of Division, Ashland, and Milwaukee. And with the lights out, you'll have longer backups than usual. Palatine southbound Quentin Road is still closed. Wood to Palatine Road, a crash investigation. Eden's inbound, just a little heavy approaching the junction. Outbound, it's clear. Kennedy, slow from the River Road toll to Harlem. 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. The Eisenhower's 35 minutes from Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 30. Stevenson, 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tollways are still trouble-free. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Tremendous.
Get out and have some fun. Visit ChicagoRadioDeals.com for a fun night on the town. Grab your sweet Caroline and make a date to listen to your favorite music. Direct from Branson, Missouri is Denny Diamond and the Jewels, featuring the music of Neil Diamond. Normally $76 for lunch and a show for two. It's only $39 at ChicagoRadioDeals.com. Or head downtown for some laughs. $22 will get you a pair of tickets to Comedy Sports Chicago. It's a unique blend of fast and funny improv comedy that's appropriate for all ages. I know my friend Sue goes there all the time with her boys because every show is different. And you, the audience, is in on it for a laugh out loud good time. Or hit the waves, Dan, and take advantage of the Sea Dog Extreme Thrill Ride.
Today's a great day for it.
Yeah.
I like the Sea Dog when it's snowing.
Yeah. Or a lakefront speedboat cruise. A lake and architectural tour awaits you as well, all from Entertainment Cruise Lines. And if you want to get out of town, well, then you should just escape to Wisconsin. Purchase an overnight stay at the Schuster Mansion in Milwaukee. So check in every week for fun and adventure with your family and friends. Only at ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
Costa Rica is an Eden of limitless possibilities. With lush emerald rainforests, volcanoes, winding rivers, and untouched beaches along the sweeping mountain countryside. Book during the Apple Vacation Spring Super Sale and take advantage of the biggest savings of the season. 7 nights at the adults-only Occidental Grand Papagayo start from only $13.99. Or make it a full week at Riu Palace, Costa Rica, starting from just $14.49. Both trips include round-trip nonstop air, resort transfers, all meals, drinks, and taxes. Essential Costa Rica. Call Traveloni at 312-334-7876 to book your trip today. That's Traveloni, 312-334-7876, or visit Traveloni.com. Prices per person based on double occupancy for select departures starting May 6th, including charter air on Extra Airways from O'Hare, and taxes and fees including September 11 security fee. See applevacations.com for baggage charges. Prices subject to availability and change. Restrictions apply. PC 15094.
The Big Home and Garden Expo that Bob Vila promotes is coming to the Tinley Park Convention Center this weekend, March 5th and 6th. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, or maybe get a new roof, flooring, windows, or a new deck, then this is the event for you. At this two-day expo, you'll meet local and national contractors displaying their products and services. Get fresh ideas, set up estimates, and talk directly with contractors, many of which are offering huge discounts. Enhance your landscaping and beautify your yard with Ted's Greenhouse, offering a wide variety of the finest plants in the area. Find everything you need for your home under one roof. Special announcement. Design expert Kelly Edwards of HGTV's Design on a Dime will be presenting both days, this Saturday and Sunday, March 5th and 6th, from 12 to 1 p.m., and giving away cash and prizes. Don't miss the Big Home and Garden Expo this weekend, March 5th and 6th at Tinley Park Convention Center. For more information, please visit homeshowevent.com. That's homeshowevent.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
We're talking Trump and Super Tuesday. Text from 708. Trump embracing white supremacists as love and kindness, ? You guys are fooling yourselves if you think that's not going to be used. Here, this is the point. This is exactly an example of somebody missing the point. Even though I agree with 708 on the underlying point. We've rebuked on this show Donald Trump for failing to rebuke the KKK and David Duke in no uncertain terms. It was used. It has been used. Rubio and Rubio super PACs were running this all weekend into last night. To what effect? Well, continuing to run it? Will it have an additional effect? I'm not so sure. We're not talking about Trump love and kindness. You have just the one example. It's anecdotal, of course, but it's interesting. This Ethiopian, 34-year-old female Ethiopian Muslim immigrant in Minneapolis who was at a Trump rally and is a Trump supporter because of economic security concerns. People can suggest what should be, and we can have that conversation. We can have the normative conversation. Let's also have the positive conversation, what actually is, what the reality on the ground is, because frankly, the reason you have Trump in the position he is because of incompetence by Cruz, the campaign, incompetence by the Rubio campaign, incompetence by Beltway elites who were slow on the uptake, what was happening with Trump. I mean, I predicted Trump would be done by Labor Day when he announced in June of last year.
Yes, you did.
But by October, I started to get the hint. And that's when I
started to get scared.
And that's when the professional operative class, which are is kind of a bit of the blind leading the blind with the Beltway elite types, that's when they should have rallied to understand what was happening, and they didn't.
No, because everybody thought that this was just going to go away.
Right, and now we're in the 11th hour because if he wins, winner take all states, Illinois, Ohio, Florida, on March 15th, I mean, it's the last nail, and I think it's too late, and so does Charles Krauthammer, so I'm in good company. Trump and Paul Ryan,
Paul Ryan, he broke his rule about not talking about the presidential race. Just reminding Republicans going to the polls in 11 states that there's a lot at stake. And this is the kind of moment where we should be having a serious debate about the policies needed to restore the American idea instead of conversation over the last few days about white supremacist groups. So Donald Trump, being Donald Trump, he, of course, had to respond to this.
Look, I don't want to waste a lot of time. I've disavowed. I'm going to get along great with Congress, okay? Paul Ryan, I don't know him well, but I'm sure I'm going to get along great with him. And if I don't, he's going to have to pay a big price, okay?
What a bully.
He was asked a question about Paul Ryan. He didn't preemptively
I know, but still,
suggest it.
He's going to pay? If he doesn't get along with it, he's going to pay? That's what you teach your kids not to be in school. Don't bully other students. And he doesn't know about the process.
Can we stop using bully for every kind of...
He's going to pay. I'm sorry. That was a verbal threat.
It's a threat.
Or was it a joke?
If he's the president of the United States and he has a disagreement with the speaker, then they both are going to exercise the political power they have. I mean, the idea of
maybe that he needs to become more nuanced. I don't know, or less street.
Nuance and
less
Donald
from Mount Prospect.
Nuance and Donald Trump do not belong in the same sentence.
Okay.
That's part of the problem. I can see that point. Holly and Hudson, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know, I boil all this down to what I call PWI, policy wonk illusionists. They want us all to believe that this election is going to be won in the weeds of policy. It's over. It's not. You're exactly right, Dan. But I also want to make the comment that the hypocrisy on the right with Paul Ryan is so real. He's been the enemy since the budget deal passed. Last night, Trump says, I'm going to get along with him or else. And the Twitterverse lights up with, how can he possibly say that about Paul Ryan after these same people have been nailing Paul Ryan for the budget deal?
That's right. Thanks for the call, Holly. That's exactly right. Paul Ryan, part of the problem, Paul Ryan getting along too well with President Obama. Chris, on 55.
Dan, Amy, I think that Donald Trump has done what the Democrats have done for decades. He has tapped into what I think of as a primitive emotional core of people, and they're responding on that level. It's sort of like what happens when you rally a football team to run out on the field and play football. It's fully emotional. And you're right, Dan, there's no way you're going to rationalize this. Statistics, data, studies don't make any difference. This is on a level that the Republicans have not been able to operate on before.
Thanks for the call, Chris.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Do no harm.
It's an oath every doctor takes, and Dr. Nick Stella takes that oath very seriously.
Do no harm.
Obamacare is a disaster. Dr. Stella will fight to put healthcare decisions back into the hands of patients and doctors.
Do no harm.
With the threat of terrorism becoming an everyday reality, Dr. Stella will make national security a priority. And instead of arguing about problems, he'll focus on solutions.
Do no harm.
For too long, politics as usual has invaded Congress. As a practicing cardiologist, Dr. Stella's focus is for positive outcomes, an idea that's been lost in Washington. Washington insiders have failed us on all levels: the economy, jobs, national security, healthcare. Dr. Nick Stella has spent his career helping people improve their lives. Dr. Nick Stella will be the outsider voice we need in Congress. Dr. Nick Stella, Republican for Congress.
I'm Dr. Nick Stella, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Stella for Congress, Inc.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, let me read a quick tweet from Ann B. Davis's bowling ball. Of all the promises GOP has made and failed to execute, blocking their own nominee is the only one they're going to follow through on. Not if Trump continues winning elections, they're not. They won't be able to stop the math. Nobody can stop the math. We'll have that discussion with Ed Morrissey, senior editor of hotair.com at 6:36.
But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good morning once again to Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. 19 degrees, winds right now west at 7, and Donald Trump wins again. Now time may be running out for the rest of the GOP field. Fox's Tanya Day Powers with the GOP reaction to Super Tuesday.
Donald Trump took 7 states. Ted Cruz took 3, including Texas, and wants Republicans to unite and back him to beat Trump.
Our campaign is the only campaign that has beaten, that can beat, and that will beat Donald Trump.
Marco Rubio's first victory of the campaign came in Minnesota.
The party of Lincoln and Reagan and the presidency of the United States will never be held by a con artist.
Both John Kasich and Dr. Ben Carson are still in the race and will join the other candidates on stage at the Fox debate in Detroit tomorrow night. In West Palm Beach, Florida, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Democrat presidential candidate Hillary Clinton slammed Republicans after her Super Tuesday wins while stressing the importance of this election, thanking supporters and saying her campaign is ready to move forward. But Bernie Sanders said his wins keep hopes alive after 4 state victories.
We can disagree in a democracy, and that's what a democracy is about. But I hope all of us agree that we're going to not allow billionaires and their super PACs to destroy American democracy.
The Supreme Court hears arguments later today in a case that could close most abortion clinics in Texas. The case involves a Texas law requiring doctors to have admitting privileges and clinics to build surgical centers in order to stay open. Astronaut Scott Kelly says he's ready to rediscover Earth. After spending a year on the International Space Station, Kelly and 2 Russian cosmonauts landing their Soyuz capsule in a remote part of Kazakhstan yesterday. Hazmat crews in western New York busy after a train carrying hazardous materials derailed. Ethanol leaking. Authorities don't yet know how much has spilled. More snow could be on the way for the Chicago area overnight. 1 to 3 inches could fall. And a suburban Oak Forest police officer is facing charges after a stabbing of a teenager in Huntington Beach, California. Miami beat the Bulls 129-111 last night. College hoops, Villanova, a Big East win over DePaul. Eastern Michigan, a MAC win over Northern Illinois. The news service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Someone you know is suffering from Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis and dealing with excruciating pain. Help someone you know. Support the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America, ccfa.org. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Each year, the month of March is all about the madness. This year, as the number of candidates dwindles and the delegate count climbs, the remaining candidates will meet for one final debate. And AM 560 is hosting the final debate watch party of the primary season. Join us for March to the White House, a Republican debate watch party presented by Innovative Networks on Thursday, March 10th at Austin's Fuel Room in Libertyville. Tickets are just $25 and include an all-you-can-eat buffet. Visit 560theanswer.com/March. Sponsored in part by Black Rhino Concealment.
LiveWatch helps you connect and respond up to 10 times faster in an emergency. LiveWatch has no long-term contracts. Save up to 50% off home security. Call 855-LiveWatch or visit livewatch.com.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. I occasionally take new customer calls, and often people tell me that they have been hearing our advertisements for years. What are you waiting for? Start now and begin experiencing the benefits of Balance of Nature in your life.
I'm going to tell you right now, and this is crazy. I just went to the dentist, and I had a tooth cleaning, and she's like amazed. She goes, your teeth are great. She goes, I don't even need to be doing this work. And, you know, and health-wise, heart-wise, stamina-wise, it's unbelievable. I just adore your products. I wish I could talk to everybody individually, give them my phone number and say, if you don't believe me, call me up. I'll tell you. It's the best thing you ever did in your life.
Good health is just a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Call now and take the health challenge to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
It is 6:37 in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. Here is Jim Telemonti.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens has delays between Niles Center and the Junction. 25 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose. Outbound fine at 19. The Kennedy is 25 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 22. Eisenhower, 42 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound it's 31. Stevenson now 42 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound all clear. The Ryan heavy at 26 minutes, 95th to downtown, it's delay-free outbound. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford 21. Northbound Tri-State slow from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Slow to North Avenue. Traffic is a service of Whole Foods Market. This week at Whole Foods Market, save on fresh asparagus, just $2.49 per pound through Tuesday. And get organic whole trade bell peppers for just $2.99 per pound. Stock up and save today at Whole Foods Market, America's healthiest grocery store. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Cold day ahead. Sunshine gives way to clouds. High 31. Mostly cloudy. A little late snow overnight. Coating to an inch. Low 25. Currently 14 and sunrise in Chicago. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We got to clear out our Bernie cuts because, he's been relegated to kind of a marginal player in this process now.
Still has hope. I mean, he raised $40 million in the month of February alone. That's insane. So he has the money. He's going to keep going.
No. He can't keep that money. He has to redistribute it according to people's needs.
He's going to pay for everyone's student loans.
That is nonsense.
Pay him off.
In the tradition. Here's Bernie and his handsome wife in Vermont last night.
When we bring our people together, when we do not allow the Donald Trumps of the world to divide us up. When we bring our people together and when we have the courage to stand up to the billionaire class and tell them they can't have it all.
But enough about the Clintons. So Bernie is, he's gone. But I have to say, he went further on Vermont maple syrup, folk music, and the Marx Engels reader than I ever thought he could, which shows you how much discordance there is in the body politic right now on both sides. But for more on this, we're now joined by Ed Morrissey. He's a senior editor over at Hot Air, hotair.com. Ed, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's great to be on with you. Thank you for having me.
So one of the lines of argumentation that was being offered last night as the results were coming in, and now that the results have essentially solidified, is Trump had a good night, but he underperformed his Real Clear Politics averages, and Ted Cruz overperformed, and Marco Rubio finally got on the board, but he won late breaker. So this is still wide open. Do you believe that?
Yeah, actually, I think that it's certainly still competitive. And I think that what you're looking at here is potentially the situation might end up at the convention without a clear delegate winner, without a clear nominee. It depends on how long Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio can stay in the race, and more importantly, if they can win some of the winner-take-all states that are coming up after March 15th. For Rubio, it's got to be Florida. But Ted Cruz won a lot of delegates coming out of Texas last night, and he won Oklahoma, and he won the Alaska caucus, which had a smaller amount of delegates. Mm-hmm. And so I think he actually did pretty well last night. I think Ted Cruz came out of it with probably a little bit more bragging rights than Marco Rubio did. And I don't know that Donald Trump really underperformed. I mean, I think he got about the number of delegates that you kind of expect, somewhere between 250 to 300. And he came in, I think, around 285 last night. So I think he did pretty well, actually.
Ed Morrissey, Marco Rubio has 2 weeks to really make some waves, especially in Florida. What can he do to win his home state?
Well, I mean, first off, I think that Marco Rubio knows his home state better than Donald Trump does. The other part that I would say about Florida is that Rubio is going to know to concentrate on the I-4 corridor. Now, that's a band right across the middle of the state where there's a lot of votes there that are swing votes. If you look at Florida is, Mark Caputo of Politico once described it to me as sort of like a microcosm of the entire country. The north is sort of like the deep south, where the Panhandle's at, because that's a deeply Republican area up there. The south is like the northeast because, Miami, Broward County, those are people that are tend to be a lot more liberal. But that I-4 corridor is your swing state. And if Rubio can pull a lot of votes out of that I-4 corridor, he can perhaps turn the tide in Florida. So you're looking at counties like Hillsborough, which is where Tampa is at, or you're looking at St. Petersburg, you're looking at Orlando, that whole band across the middle of Florida. So that's where a lot of the key demographics are going to be in play. If he can get the Puerto Rican vote by talking about the disaster that Puerto Rico has had on its economy and why that's just like, Barack Obama, that's a theme that you're going to hear from Marco Rubio over the next couple of weeks. He's going to hammer that hard, and he's going to do a lot of on-the-ground traveling. And I would not discount the idea that he could bounce back and get Florida with 2 weeks to go in this.
Now, I say the following as a Ted Cruz supporter, but isn't Ted Cruz winning Texas? Wasn't that great news for Donald Trump? I mean, Ted Cruz stays in. I mean, and to a lesser extent, Oklahoma and Alaska. Ted Cruz stays in. He has a compelling argument to make that he's the alternative to Donald Trump, not Marco Rubio. That goes back and forth on Thursday night in the debate. It goes back and forth for the next 2 weeks into Florida and Ohio and Illinois and North Carolina and Missouri. And if Donald Trump has the kind of night on March 15th that he had last night, boy, he really starts piling up delegates, and then it's increasingly difficult to see how he is derailed.
True. And I would say that Donald Trump actually did pretty well in Texas, too. I mean, he got, I think, something like 40-something delegates out of Texas. So, I mean, it wasn't like Donald Trump did poorly. Rubio didn't do very well at all in Texas, thanks to the threshold. I think it's the 20% threshold, and Rubio only crossed that in a couple of the congressional districts in Texas. But here's what you might want to take a look at, is that if Rubio's gaining some momentum and Cruz is getting some momentum, and they both stay in the race, and more importantly, they can win a couple of winner-take-all states, it's very possible that the combination of Cruz and Rubio will have more than half of the delegates going into the convention. Not nearly enough for either one of them to win on a first ballot, but combined, they could keep Donald Trump from winning on a first ballot, and after that, you throw it to an open convention. And I think, obviously, both Ted, I know that you've talked to Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio before. I certainly have. Those guys go into these things to actually win outright, and that's what they're trying to do.
Yes.
But I mean, I think for the first time in a very long time, it's been in 40 years, you're looking at a real potential for an open convention come July. And so the question is what, can they win enough to do that? Can they win enough to keep more than half of the delegates away from Donald Trump on a first ballot? And by that time, will the Donald Trump phenomenon have cooled enough that an open convention would produce somebody other than Donald Trump at the top of the ticket? And so that's sort of the scenario that I'm looking at, because right now, Dan, I think you're right. If you're looking at just the way that the delegates are falling out, Donald Trump is by far and away in the best position to win. But if it's still a three-person race all the way down, I don't know that he gets half the delegates. And
some dead weight here, John Kasich, Ben Carson. Any inkling as to when they're going to leave the race? Especially, I mean, obviously, if Kasich doesn't win his home state of Ohio, but what about Ben Carson?
Well, I think as long as the money's coming in for Ben Carson, he's going to stay in the race. I mean, it's a no-cost thing for him at this point. He's not. I mean, he doesn't have a political career that he has to worry about, am I going to be credible for the next time I run? I mean, John Kasich, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, that is a sort of a market incentive for them that they are going to eventually have to respond to. Now, Rubio and Cruz are doing well enough in delegates, they don't have to worry about that. John Kasich has to win someplace. He narrowly missed one in Vermont. If he doesn't win Ohio, I think he gets out. But let's talk about that. If Kasich wins Ohio, then the open convention becomes actually more likely, because now you have three other people that are going to be splitting a significant amount of delegates. I think there's 66 in Ohio, and that might be enough to keep Trump from, again, getting the nomination on the first ballot at the convention. And most of these delegates are bound through the first and second ballots, and if they don't like Trump at the convention, you've derailed Trump. Although a lot of those Cruz delegates may, as compared to Rubio. But Ed Morrissey, senior editor at HotAir.com, is our guest. And Ed, one of the things, and this was particularly on display with Karl Rove last night, and I know it's his bag to break out the whiteboard and go through the delegate math, but when you watch some of these, what I call Don Quixote pundits, don't you get a sense that they're a bit missing the forest for the trees? The delegate math is important,
But aren't you missing this movement that the Trump campaign has become?
Yeah, well, I think that that's certainly true. There is a movement that is behind Donald Trump. It is not necessarily the same exact footprint as the Republican Party. He's bringing people into the fold that might not have ever voted in a Republican primary before. The question is that movement sustainable? Do they stay with Trump in a general election? Does Trump do something to derail his ability to bring in the people who do normally vote? And so I think that that's the reason why delegate math matters, is because it gives you an idea proportionally where that movement's at. And so I'd say yes and no. Delegate math is obviously important, but it's way, way early still to see exactly where that's going to land. On the other hand, it's a pretty good measure of where Donald Trump's at, right? Because he has nearly as many, I should say, delegates as everybody else in the race combined. He's just slightly under 50% at the moment of bound delegates. And Jeb Bush spent $85 million, and he's got, what, 4 whole delegates after $85 million. So, yeah, I mean, I think when it comes down to this, what you're saying actually demonstrates the delegate math itself, at least at the moment, demonstrates the power of Donald Trump's movement.
This is another question I have about an underreported portion of the discussion, and maybe it's my bias as somebody who has a bit of a background of being an operative. But is there a conversation to be had about the establishment Republican operative class and their, in my opinion, rank incompetence through this process now with all of the caterwauling and the apocalyptic predictions about the future of the Republican Party if Donald Trump is the nominee? They were late to understand what was happening, even though these individuals are ostensibly surveying the race and have their finger on the pulse of what's happening so they can position their candidate accordingly. And even in states like last night, Marco Rubio has a chance to spring an upset in Virginia. Was there a Marco Rubio play in Northern Virginia to take Kasich down a few points and try and push some of those voters over to Marco Rubio so he could have subsumed Donald Trump, which he didn't do, but he came close to doing? I mean, Donald and Kasich getting 18% of the vote in Northern Virginia. It seems to me that the amateurs in the Trump camp are better at playing three-dimensional chess than all the professional politicos in Camp Rubio and Cruz.
Well, I don't know the status of Trump's ground game in Northern Virginia. I would guess that he's probably doesn't have a big footprint there. But look, I mean, I think that we're dealing with a cycle that doesn't necessarily play out along the way in the patterns that we're used to, right? I mean, we just haven't seen a candidate like Donald Trump. And I don't necessarily think that the lessons that we're learning would apply to anybody else but Donald Trump. I mean, this is a guy who is a major media star. He's a guy who knows how to manipulate the media very effectively to his own ends. And even if you had somebody else with that kind of money, let's say Bloomberg, I don't think you could apply the same lessons to Michael Bloomberg, even though he's got tons of money. It's not a guy who's got the same sort of outsized personality and sort of brash, almost. I'm not even sure how you characterize his lack of filters, if you will. And so there's a lot of appeal to that, but it's really centered around Donald Trump. So I don't know if you can say, well, the political class is incompetent. I just don't think that you've ever seen a variable like Donald Trump that you can account for in these calculations. So they're doing what they know what to do, which is to get on the ground, take a look at what the situation is, try to turn out as many of the voters as they can, look for the openings that they've got. And Rubio, I think, exploited the Northern Virginia opening to the best of his ability. But when you're talking about something that is such an X factor like Donald Trump, I don't know that you can even blame this on incompetence in the consultant class. You don't know how to account for something like that until it actually appears.
All right, Ed Morrissey, senior editor, hotair.com. Ed, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Plenty of sunshine right now, but brisk. It's 17 degrees right now at O'Hare, going up to a high of 31 degrees today. We'll have clouds by this afternoon. Then tonight the snow begins, and tomorrow morning for your morning commute, we're going to have some snow everywhere from a dusting up to an inch. Then by the afternoon, cloudy, cold, a high of 32 degrees. Let's get the travel times. Any complaints on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Things are getting heavier, Amy, on the expressways and tollways. Here's a good piece of news in Palatine. Southbound Quentin is open again from Wood to Palatine Road after a much earlier crash. The Edens is 25 minutes, like Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Kennedy, 36 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 34. The Ike, 52 minutes, Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 33. Stevenson, 54 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eastbound Adams Tollway now tied up from Barrington Road to 53. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Big Super Tuesday wins for Donald Trump, but legal troubles ahead. The FDA cracks down on painkillers. A Facebook executive arrested. Those stories next.
Tax problems? They only get worse if you don't do anything. Are you an individual or business that owes at least $10,000 in back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns? Don't risk garnishments or levies on your wages, bank accounts, or accounts receivable. Call Rapid Resolution Tax Group now. They're Better Business Bureau A+ rated and accredited. Tax attorneys, enrolled agents, tax professionals, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. No tax problem is too big. They've helped many people just like you with their tax problems. Pick up the phone and call 800-601-2929 now. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can settle your tax debt for less, remove penalties and fees, stop garnishments and levies. You may even qualify for the IRS Fresh Start Initiative. You do have rights as an American. Don't let your tax problems get worse. Call Rapid Resolution Tax Group for a free consultation at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929. Call now.
As Republican presidential frontrunner, Donald Trump was building commanding delegate leads in many of the so-called Super Tuesday states. A New York court refused to throw out a fraud lawsuit against his one-time Trump University, meaning the case moves ahead in court. A new commissioner for the Food and Drug Administration says his agency will fully endorse efforts to develop harder-to-abuse painkillers. At the same time, he promised to curb abuse of easily addictive pain drugs like OxyContin. Facebook's most senior Latin American executive has been arrested, a move that came after he refused to surrender user information from the WhatsApp messaging service for a police investigation of drug trafficking. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, then you need to do what Amy did and call David Hochberg at Pearl Mortgage. Joyce had 27 years left on a 4.25% mortgage. She called to lower her rate and continue paying her loan off in 27 years. David helped Joyce secure a 27-year loan, lowered her rate, and saved her $45 a month and paid Joyce's closing costs. $45 might not sound like a lot, but Joyce will continue paying what she's paying to pay off her loan 2 years faster, which will save her over $20,000 in mortgage payments. Recap. David lowered Joyce's rate, payment, paid her closing costs, and helped Joyce save over $20,000 in mortgage payments. If you want to see if David can lower your rate, payment, and help you pay off your mortgage faster, call David now, 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. David's helped Amy and Joyce and thousands of AM560 listeners, but he can't help you if you don't call 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage is an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358, NMLS 19186.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. That's where Upstream Ideas comes in. Upstream Ideas, online at upstream-ideas.com, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted orthodoxies. In other words, Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now to upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Not available in California.
Listeners, do you have startup capital and want to invest in a business with incredible profit potential? Fresh Healthy Vending, the #1 healthy vending franchise in North America, is growing fast, and we're looking for people right here in the local area to become Fresh Healthy Vending franchise owners and help our business continue to boom. If this sounds like you, we'll send you a free owner information kit. As an added bonus to new franchise owners, we'll also pay half the franchise fees. Just go to readyforfresh.com and enter code 5000. That's readyforfresh.com, code 5000.
At GoDaddy, a domain name is the beginning of something awesome. Use it to create a website to promote your business. Open an online store to sell your products. Start a blog. Build your brand. You can even connect your domain to your LinkedIn or Facebook page. And GoDaddy customer support is always ready to help. What will you do with your domain name? Get a free domain with website from GoDaddy.com, starting at $1 a month. Annual purchase of website builder required. Price valid first year only. See website for details.
Running a business is tough these days. From a president who claimed it
You didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen.
to the mountains and mountains of taxes and regulations here in Illinois. But many companies, big and small, have persevered, serving their customers and communities. If that's you and your business, then AM 560 The Answer wants to celebrate your success and tell your story. It's the AM 560 Business Tour 2016, presented by Signature Bank. This spring, Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses in Illinois with success stories of overcoming the odds and thriving in spite of the challenging business environment. If your company fits this description, then we want to know about it so we can consider broadcasting from your location. Tell us your story. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business. Sponsored in part by Flex Execs Management Solutions.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Did Donald Trump deliver a kill shot last night? We'll discuss at 7:07.
And was Bill Clinton not playing by the rules? We'll let you decide. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, more snow could be on the way this evening. Judge dismisses petition challenging Cruz's eligibility. A clear day ahead. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Dave Anthony. She didn't sweep, but Hillary Clinton won big.
Thank you.
She won 7 of the Democrat Super Tuesday contests. Donald Trump also won 7.
Once we get all of this finished, I'm going to go after one person. That's Hillary Clinton.
But his Republican rivals are hardly giving up. Ted Cruz won 3 contests, including Texas. Fox's Jeff Manasso is live in Stafford.
Dave, his home state of Texas, Oklahoma, and Alaska were big wins last night for Ted Cruz, who told supporters here that the battle for the Republican nomination has now come down to 2.
A Washington deal maker, or we can nominate a proven conservative.
Ted Cruz asking other candidates to unify and clear the way, though that was before Marco Rubio picked up Minnesota.
What's at stake, my friends, is not just the future of America, but also the future of the conservative movement.
Rubio is also banking on Florida in a couple of weeks, and like Ben Carson and John Kasich, is staying put. Now to the Democrats and Gernal Scott in Burlington, Vermont, where Bernie Sanders rallied last night.
That's right, Jeff. 7 victories and more than 1,000 delegates in the bank. Hillary Clinton seems to be setting her sights on the GOP message.
Trying to divide America between us and them is wrong, and we're not going to let it work.
But Bernie Sanders has not gone away with 4 wins on Super Tuesday and a renewed purpose.
This campaign is not just about electing a president, it is about transforming America.
Sanders hits the road again today with stops in another anticipated stronghold, Maine, and delegate-rich Michigan, Dave.
Gernal, a big abortion case at the Supreme Court this morning. 8 justices will hear a challenge to Texas's law putting requirements on doctors and clinics. The UN Security Council will vote today on the toughest new sanctions on North Korea in 20 years over a recent rocket launch and nuclear test. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Sunshine, 17 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560 The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. More snow on the way for the Chicago area. National Weather Service says snow likely to fall overnight, 1 to 3 inches possible, and flurries throughout the day tomorrow. The judge has dismissed a claim that Republican presidential candidate Ted Cruz is not eligible for the Illinois ballot because he was born in Canada. Cook County Judge Maureen Kirby tossed that case on a technicality. Kirby says the suburban Chicago attorney, Lawrence Joyce, who filed that complaint failed to give a copy of it to Cruz or state electoral board members as required by law.
My main concern all along has been keeping Senator Cruz from being the nominee of the party.
Joyce arguing the Texas senator can't be president because he wasn't born in the U.S. A woman is accused of killing a man with her vehicle in suburban Norridge, then driving away. Irina Biskup has been charged with leaving the scene of a fatal accident. The man was struck and killed last month crossing West Lawrence Avenue. A bit of a political power struggle developing today between veteran Democrats. Mike Madigan, Illinois House Speaker and State Democratic Party Chairman, now backing the primary challenger to veteran incumbent Congressman Bobby Rush. Sample ballot being promoted by Madigan's 13th Ward political organization lists Alderman Howard Brookins as the preferred candidate. A suburban Oak Forest police officer is facing charges in the stabbing of a California teen in Huntington Beach. Arthur Roman was involved in that fight Sunday. The 17-year-old stabbed during the altercation is expected to survive. Federal agents in Texas have arrested a Gary woman who's been evading arrest for the killing of two brothers in Hobart for 5 months. 33-year-old Jerry Woods was charged along with 6 other people in the September shooting deaths of teen brothers Arion and Antonio Lackey. And an Illinois woman is pleading guilty to fraud charges for lying about a terminal ovarian cancer diagnosis. Has now been sentenced to 3 years in prison. 32-year-old Alyssa Jackson of Belleville, married mother of 5, charged in June of 2014 with bilking thousands of dollars in donations, free food, and a donated minivan from hundreds. She was sentenced yesterday in St. Clair County Circuit Court. Miami beat the Bulls 129-111. College hoops, Villanova topped DePaul. Eastern Michigan in the MAC over our Northern Illinois Huskies. The news, a service of Whole Foods Market. This week at Whole Foods Market, save on fresh asparagus, just $2.49 per pound through this Tuesday. And get organic whole trade bell peppers for just $2.99 per pound. Stock up and save today at Whole Foods Market, America's healthiest grocery store. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You don't win by accident.
It's the Dave Ramsey Show.
So this is your year to win. You don't get out of debt. You don't save your marriage by accident. You don't increase the quality of your marriage by accident. You don't raise great kids accidentally. These are intentional acts that you make choices on the variables in your environment and you form and control your life.
Make the most of your money and get out of debt. He's Dave Ramsey, tonight at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
You know, it's fun to watch the new world and the way we order things online and they get brought to our doorstep, right? More and more savvy consumers are doing this now with mattresses. There's a lot of mattresses that can be delivered to you in a box. It's a very efficient way to order a bed. But the problem is a lot of these mattresses aren't comfortable. One mattress that I've discovered is just about as perfect as it gets. It's called the Luxy mattress, L-U-X-I, the Luxy mattress made here in America. The Luxy mattress was reviewed by one of the biggest online mattress review sites, named first in their performance mattress category. How about my review? I love this bed. Go to LuxySleep.com right now. It's reasonably priced because you don't have to pay $2,000, $3,000 for a top-of-the-line bed anymore. The Queen is $999, and if you use the promo code Mike, you'll get a $125 discount. Go to LuxySleep.com. Check out this amazing mattress. Luxy Sleep, L-U-X-I, LuxySleep.com. Or if you want to call them, feel free to do so. 888-813-2944. Call now.
At GoDaddy, a domain name is the beginning of something awesome. Use it to create a website to promote your business. Open an online store to sell your products. Start a blog. Build your brand. You can even connect your domain to your LinkedIn or Facebook page. And GoDaddy customer support is always ready to help. What will you do with your domain name? Get a free domain with website from GoDaddy.com, starting at $1 a month. Annual purchase of website builder required. Price valid first year only. See website for details.
I've been teaching organic chemistry for the last 17 years, so I'm pretty good with complex calculations. But when I started thinking about my retirement, I was pretty stumped. Luckily, I have TIAA as my financial partner. Together, we retrosynthetically analyzed my financial future, which is organic chem speak for we figured it out.
See how we're helping those who do good do well at the new TIAA.org. TIAA, created to serve, built to perform.
7:07 in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. The very latest now with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy now has delays from the River Road toll to Montrose and then Irving Park to the Burns Circle. 45 minutes already from O'Hare to downtown. 20 from Montrose, 16 on the Express. Outbound, 14 minutes to Montrose, but 41 to the airport. Eden's 29 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. The Eisenhower, 57 minutes, Thorndale to the Loop, 44 from Manheim, outbound 33 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 43 from the Tri-State, outbound it's fine. The Ryan is a heavy 30 minutes, 95 to downtown. Northbound Tri-State delays from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, then from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway jammed 59 to 53. Reagan Tollway 5, Veterans Memorial slow 63rd to the Reagan Tollway, and the Army Trail toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. AirComfort.com, 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, cold with sunshine, followed by clouds, high of 32. Mostly cloudy tonight with a little late-night snow accumulating a coating to an inch with a low 26. Snow tomorrow accumulating a coating to an inch, high 32. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
13 at O'Hare, 18 along the lakefront, 12 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Apple Vacations. The Apple Vacations Spring Super Sale is on now. Visit applevacations.com to book your trip today.
Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
I believe what we need in America today is more love and kindness.
I am a unifier. Once we get all of this finished, I'm going to go after one person. That's Hillary Clinton, on the assumption she's allowed to run, which is a big assumption. I don't know that she's going to be allowed to run.
But we may be in a position where after rally around Ted Cruz is the only way to stop Donald Trump. So you would? I'm not so sure that would work.
But you'd recommend that in order to stop Donald Trump, rally behind Ted Cruz?
I can't believe I would say yes, but yes.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're going to win again. We're going to win so much you get tired of it. And
it's exhausting to win so much, really. I mean, Donald Trump, he's got to take a break today to recoup from all the winning he did last night.
He proved prophetic. He's wearing out his opponents, including his opponents in terms of supporters of candidates like Rubio and Cruz, and to a lesser extent Kasich and Carson. Yesterday, 7-3-1. 7 states for him, 3 for Cruz, 1 for Rubio. Rubio finally on the board.
Yeah, I predicted that. I said, I think he's going to win in Minnesota, and I was correct. I'm a brilliant political mind, Dan. I don't know.
Winning. You know what? This is interesting.
Hiring me.
It's a perfect segue, your Trump impersonation there.
Yes, thank you.
Training to be Trump, this New York Times piece. Trump using his reality show chops very well, according to Robert Galinsky, who's the founder of the New York Reality TV School in the East Village. Mr. Galinsky coaches aspiring reality stars in classes and private lessons. His mantra, be your most interesting and authentic self. He elaborates on his teaching points by pointing to the 3 B's, the big 3 B's. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready because I'm trying out for a reality TV show.
Big 3 B's, this little mnemonic device here. The biggest, baddest braggarts. According to Mr. Galinsky, you ready for these 3? I feel like Karnak. Although I've already given you the answer, so now I can't do my Karnak impersonation. Dang it. Mr. Galinsky's 3 biggest, baddest braggarts.
Right.
Mr. Trump. Elizabeth Hasselbeck. That's an odd
Really?
And Flava Flav. Donald Trump, Flava Flav, and Elizabeth Hasselbeck. Well, maybe one of the 2 of the others can be Trump's running mate. Mr. Galinsky goes on to say, like Trump, you have to cut through a conversation that's useless and get to something that's interesting to the audience. Find phrases or actions that can be repeated over and over again until it becomes a brand. Yeah. Be authentic and keep mud wrestling. So
that'll keep him interested.
It seems like, I don't know if Trump taught Galinsky or Galinsky taught Trump, or they're both just kind of on the same page, but training to be Trump. There you go. There's Trump in
a little Trumpster,
100 words or less.
A little Trumpster in training, don't you think, is Governor Chris Christie? Standing behind Donald Trump last night like he was his bodyguard. And for me, I
like
just...
Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston.
Yeah, yeah. But this was his last chance at being relevant, grabbing on to Donald Trump's coattails. Don't you think? I mean, so what position do you think he wants, Dan? Do you think he wants to be the Attorney General? Do you think he wants to be the Vice Presidential nominee?
I'd like to see Chris Christie sing "I Will Always Love You" to Donald Trump.
Oh, come on. Don't you agree, though, that it's his last-ditch effort for relevance?
Well, this is interesting. The response from New Jersey, back in his home state, back on the ranch, so to speak, he's taking some heat. 6 New Jersey newspapers issued a joint editorial yesterday calling on Chris Christie to resign.
6 of them?
I mean, they're all owned by Gannett.
Yeah.
Part of a newspaper network. But they called on him to resign. They didn't just chastise him. They wrote, "We're fed up with Chris Christie's arrogance. We're fed up with his opportunism. Yes. We're fed up with his hypocrisy."
Yes.
The joint editorial notes Christie spent part of 261 days out of state last year and traveled out of state to endorse Trump and his campaign after he quit the race February 10th. For the good of the state, it's time for Christie to do his long-neglected constituents a favor and resign as governor. If he refuses, citizens should initiate a recall effort. Pretty strong editorial on Chris Christie.
Yeah, those are hard words. But remember, Chris Christie 8 times during the campaign bashed Donald Trump and said he would not be a good president.
Donald's a great guy and a good person, but I just don't think he's suited to be president of the United States.
Why?
I don't think his temperament is suited for that, and I don't think his experience is. He's got great experience in doing things in business, but I'll give you a perfect example. If he doesn't get what he wants from John Boehner, you can't fire him. Yeah, you can't say, "Mr. Speaker, you're fired."
Yeah, every candidate running for an office thinks they're the only one qualified to be the occupant of that office. That's, part of the rhetorical game.
But where was Sarah Palin last night? I mean, Sarah Palin, she didn't even deliver for Trump in Alaska.
She was in Wasilla.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Working on family matters, making sure people don't beat each other up.
Quality time with Todd. What was the deal with Bill Clinton?
Oh, yeah.
Bill Clinton was kind of wandering aimlessly around polling places in Boston.
Yeah, he was he was not even near polling sites. He was inside polling sites alongside Boston Mayor Marty Walsh, and they were taking pictures. He kissed an old lady on the head. They posed for photos, bought a cup of coffee.
Kissed her where?
On the top of the head, Dan.
Okay.
And that's a violation of the election rules. You're not supposed to be nowhere near a polling place, let alone, 150 feet of a polling place.
100 feet. Chelsea, go get your dad.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Chelsea, your dad.
Do you think he's losing it? I mean, he has sounded a little off lately.
Losing his mind?
Yeah, like early stages of dementia. I'm not saying this tongue in cheek. When you look at him too, he looks pale and frail, and it's not the same Bill Clinton that we're used to seeing.
Could be syphilis. Scott on the west side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, thanks for taking my call. I don't think there were any surprises last night. The one I wish that Rubio would drop out so that Cruz could pick up some of the delegates. And, Dan, I wish that Bruce would join you on the morning show. Amy's as dumb as a doorknob.
No, Scott,
that is really rude.
No, Scott.
Really rude. Didn't see that coming,
Scott. We need...
He's off my Christmas card list now.
We need Amy to come over and vote for Ted Cruz when Rubio drops out on March 15th. We'll send Amy back to a state where she can still vote after March 15th. Sean in Elmwood Park.
Oh, Amy, you're my girl. Are you kidding me? Plus, your inseam is twice as long as Bruce Wolf with that dyed hair. But anyway, But anyway, listen, I love the ploy of bringing Chris Christie behind you. That was first implemented by Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School. It makes you look thinner and taller when you stick that bowling ball behind you. And the look on Christie's face is wonderful. He looks like a foreign exchange student with ADD in geography. He's just like, I don't know where anything is, and I wish somebody would just point it out to me. So, but here's the problem with Marco Rubio and Paul Ryan calling Donald Trump a fraud. You're two frauds. See, it doesn't work. When two frauds call another guy a fraud, it doesn't work. So what we have to focus on is who scares the fraud. And it isn't the doorman that's clearly dating Melania. It is Ted Cruz. That's why he has to discredit him and constantly do the third grader. You're a liar, you're a liar. Because as Ted Cruz dissects the problems with a guy who gets up in his acceptance speech and praises Planned Parenthood again. He did it again last night, that pink pig. He did it again. And what people understand, there's all these Trump Krishnas out there. They don't even care anymore. That's Planned Parenthood selling slaughtered baby parts is less than a year old. And all these phony patriots who pretended, it's outrageous, that's outrageous. Now they have their cult leader up there praising Planned Parenthood, and where are you now? You're quiet, because all you do is you think this moron is somehow going to vindicate your own failure in life. It's not going to happen. He's Bernie Sanders with a better hairdo. And you know what I'm going to love? I'm going to love the Schadenfreude of watching you idiots go into hyperinflation. I'm sure I butchered the name, but I need Bruce Schultz for that.
Schadenfreude.
Schlickenflag works.
Call Bruce up. But here's the thing. I'm going to love watching you try to live through the hyperinflation that Trump Hoover is going to create. Because I'll survive no matter what. And all you morons, you'll be the guy just in the position you are now, looking for a savior. You make me sick.
Thanks for the call, Sean. Maybe Marco Rubio's in the market for a surrogate. Sean could get on the campaign trail down there in Florida.
Are you a large person, pleasantly plump, a little on the hefty side perhaps? Well, let's face it. Are you fat? When you go jogging, do you leave potholes? When you make love, do you have to give directions? At the zoo, do elephants throw you peanuts? Do you look at a menu and say, okay?
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Plenty of sunshine to start out your day. We will have some clouds rolling its way through here by this afternoon, a high of 31 degrees. Tonight, more snow on the way, and by tomorrow morning, during the commute, anywhere from a dusting to an inch. High tomorrow of 32 degrees. Let's get the travel times. Are the lights still out on the northwest side, Jim Telemonte?
Amy, actually, everything's good again. Lights are on at the intersection of Division, Ashland, and Milwaukee. They had been out earlier, but not much respect to be found on the Chicago Expressway as travel times are high. It's on the Kennedy, 54 minutes, O'Hare to downtown already. 25 from Montrose, 18 on the Express. Outbound 36 minutes downtown to the airport. Eden's 30 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 24. The Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes now. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound just 33 minutes. Stevenson 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Orion is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State slow Archer to LaGrange Road. From the Stevenson to 47th. Then from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway really slow going from 59 to 53. Veterans Memorial slow 75th to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Congratulations to all who took the Balance of Nature New Year's Challenge. Success stories are pouring in. So many people have been helped through this incentive that I have asked Balance of Nature to continue this challenge for as long as possible.
I do feel slightly better. I can't explain it. It's like underlying. I can't explain it. I broke my leg twice, my left leg, and it used to bother me, but now it's not bothering me that much. I mean, I also bowl on Friday nights. I mean, it used to kill me, but now I find that I could do that and without being in any discomfort.
Good health is just a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Call now and take the health challenge to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
The U.S. silver dollar. Cherished, coveted, a beautiful collector's favorite, and a trusted value in uncertain times. Now claim a genuine 1921 Morgan silver dollar at over 50% off, just $19.99. This coin in 90% silver is your first in the complete 20th century U.S. silver dollar collection from the Bradford Exchange Mint. Spanning the years 1900 to 1999, you'll get the Morgan silver dollar, the coin of the Old West, the peace dollar that marked the end of World War I, the Eisenhower highlighting America's bicentennial, and more, each in an authenticated tamper-proof holder. Call 800-922-COIN now to get your first coin for just $19.99 plus shipping and processing. More will follow at the regular price backed by our 365-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't miss this limited time offer from the Bradford Exchange Mint, your source for coins of enduring value. Call 800-922-COIN. That's 800-922-COIN now.
Winter weather is here, and this season's roller coaster ride and temperatures can be especially taxing on your business's mechanical HVAC system. That's why it's important to schedule a comprehensive review of your system today with Air Comfort, Chicagoland's leading mechanical professionals. For more than 80 years, Air Comfort has maintained hundreds of businesses' HVAC systems throughout Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. Why do they trust their mechanical systems to Air Comfort? It's simple. Because they understand that Air Comfort has the best trained and highly skilled team of award-winning technicians. That's why Air Comfort is recognized as an MSCA Star Contractor, a designation achieved by only 2% of contractors nationwide. With a large service fleet of more than 80 fully equipped vehicles, chances are that an Air Comfort technician is nearby. Schedule your system check by calling now, 708-345-1900, or online at aircomfort.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
There it is.
There's your song.
Chris Christie singing to Donald Trump. I really impressed he could hit the high notes.
Because he did look like his bodyguard last night. Back there, he's got his back. Looking around.
Surprised Trump didn't announce from Mar-a-Lago yesterday, and I've been in that room.
Yes, I heard.
I've been to that compound. It's very nice, very lovely.
How much does it cost to join the club there?
I have no idea. I was just there for a dinner back in April. And ironically, Chris Christie was the keynote speaker of that event.
Do you like Chris Christie?
He's kind of worn on me a bit.
Do you like anybody?
I like a Republican governor of New Jersey rather than somebody like John Corzine. So Christie's a massive upgrade from what New Jersey has had in the recent past. I'll tell you that. So, that's the good news. Cruz and Rubio both making their case after the election results were in, or substantially in last night. You'll hear more of this Thursday night's debate. I was surprised Trump didn't say, hey, and I'm going to skip the Fox News debate on Thursday night because who needs it?
Well, he's got to slow play that so he gets free media attention between now and tomorrow. That will be his big thing today. Should he go to the debate or not go to the debate?
The cable news networks would cover him sitting at a table drinking a glass of iced tea for 24 hours. I mean, it's just that's the hilarity of all this. The media is hand-wringing when, number one, they're in large measure responsible for promoting Trump, and number two, they want it. They want Trump versus Hillary, and that's the dirty little secret. But Rubio was on with Jake Tapper last night after his speech in Florida, and Jake Tapper kind of put it to him like, are you being a bit delusional? You're talking about states like Virginia where you lost.
Well, he came in second place in Virginia and Georgia, and he won Minnesota.
Yeah, coming in second place is losing. And winning 1 out of 11 states, or 1 out of 14 so far.
It's a start.
Yeah, it's a slow start.
Yeah.
It may be so slow that it's not much of a start at all, but Rubio responded and made his argument.
I think that my interview with Donald Trump yesterday...
Oh, that's not it. Where's my Rubio? Rubio with Jake Tapper is here, not where it was.
What people are saying is fight as hard as you can to save the party of Lincoln and Reagan from a con artist who refuses to criticize the KKK. If we nominate Donald Trump as our nominee for the Republican Party, it will be the end of the modern Republican Party. Hillary Clinton will smoke him in a general election, and the next 4 years are going to be no different than the last state for our country. I will fight as long and as hard as it takes to save this conservative movement from someone like Donald Trump.
Do you think that's right, that Trump means the end of the Republican Party? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line, because it's an argument a lot of conservative intellectuals and some of the Beltway elites are making.
Well, he fancies himself as a common conservative. That's what Donald Trump said
Common
yesterday.
sense conservative.
Common sense, yes, a common sense conservative. But yeah, do I think it's the end of the Republican Party? Oh, heck yes. Because I think the Republican Party, they are going to put up a third-party candidate, and then that's it for Donald Trump. And then Hillary Clinton, she's a shoo-in to win. If you divide the party, then Hillary Clinton's going to win. It's the same thing that happened when Herbert Walker Bush ran again as an incumbent, and Ross Perot jumped in, and then Bill Clinton won.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's deja vu.
It's not deja vu. There's no Reform Party movement that's ongoing as part of this, number one. Number two.
Yet. Well.
So when does that start? 14 state elections in? When does the Ross Perot movement organically start? Frankly, some of what Donald Trump is doing is that movement. And number two, a conservative independent candidate like a former Indiana governor, Mitch Daniels, could he turn that into a first 1 to 34% kind of race? Possibly.
Gosh, and I still have so many people coming up to me and say, is there any way Mitt Romney can get back in?
Yeah,
can there be a
joke.
brokered convention and Mitt Romney can take over?
Well, no, that's preposterous on every level.
Well, I'm
it's
just saying what
preposterous
people
of
keep asking. They want Mitt Romney back.
Well, who are those people? Democrats?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they want to beat him again?
Yeah.
Of course they do. Of course. I would like...
No, they don't want to beat him. They're registered Democrats who will vote for Mitt Romney.
Yeah, well, Donald Trump's got a lot of registered Democrats voting for him, too. But this whole broker convention thing, I think, is more political, fantasy electoral politics than... much of anything else. The real play, if you're going to stop Trump, in my estimation, or attempt to, the only real play is to have a legitimate independent conservative candidate. I don't know that that's going to materialize. I think it's late in the game for that, but I think that's the only play. But in addition to that, the argument that Rubio's making becomes less and less tenable for him. Donald Trump is going to lose to Hillary, which implies that he's the only one who can beat Hillary. Yeah, if you want to make that argument, here's the problem they have. You know who performs best against Hillary? John Kasich. You know who performs best against all the Republicans? Bernie Sanders. That is the kind of inside the bubble argument that has very little appeal to actual voters. Mm-hmm. It's for us to talk about. It's for conservative intellectuals and, frankly, liberal intellectuals on the other side to talk about. Is it motivating a lot of votes? I suspect not. Dave in Plainfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, a quick point. One of the issues with Paul Ryan coming out against Trump and McConnell and then Rubio even saying he's a con artist is that they have, we put them in a position to have an opportunity to stand up for conservative principles, and they've all failed. They all caved to Obama's wishes. There was no negotiating. We haven't gotten anything the last few years. And so for them to come out and say, oh, well, he's not a conservative and he's not going to uphold values, that's the whole problem in a nutshell is they haven't done it, and they've had the opportunity the last 4 or 5 years.
Yep, thanks for the call, Dave. Living in a glass house, they are.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Do no harm.
It's an oath every doctor takes, and Dr. Nick Stella takes that oath very seriously.
Do no harm.
Obamacare is a disaster. Dr. Stella will fight to put healthcare decisions back into the hands of patients and doctors.
Do no harm.
With the threat of terrorism becoming an everyday reality, Dr. Stella will make national security a priority. And instead of arguing about problems, he'll focus on solutions.
Do no harm.
For too long, politics as usual has invaded Congress. As a practicing cardiologist, Dr. Stella's focus is for positive outcomes, an idea that's been lost in Washington. Washington insiders have failed us on all levels. The economy, jobs, national security, healthcare. Dr. Nick Stella has spent his career helping people improve their lives. Dr. Nick Stella will be the outsider voice we need in Congress. Dr. Nick Stella, Republican for Congress.
I'm Dr. Nick Stella, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Stella for Congress, Inc.
Cinderella, the family-friendly classic fairy tale, comes to life like never before with dazzling costumes, magnificent stage design, and graceful dancing. The Joffrey Ballet's Cinderella will be performed live at the Auditorium Theater May 11th through the 22nd. Tickets are available now at joffrey.org. And AM 560, The Answer, is giving away a pair of tickets through our mobile app. So download or visit our app now to register for your chance to win. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Apple and the FBI square off on Capitol Hill. We'll have it at 7:37.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Partly sunny, 19 degrees. The front runners are even further in front after Super Tuesday. Democrat Hillary Clinton, Republican Donald Trump, each winning 7 states. Trump winning strong in the South and New England. Clinton winning the South and Massachusetts.
Now this campaign moves forward to the Crescent City, the Motor City, and beyond. We're going to work for every vote, and we will need all of you to keep volunteering.
Clinton's rival Bernie Sanders winning his home state of Vermont and 3 others. On the Republican side, Texas Senator Ted Cruz picked up 3 crucial wins.
For the candidates who have not yet won a state, who have not racked up significant delegates, I ask you to prayerfully consider our coming together, uniting.
Florida Senator Marco Rubio earning his first win, taking Minnesota.
Well, we're hoping he'll take a lot of seconds and get some good delegate count, and then we'll be ready for Florida in 2 weeks.
The leader of the Republican Party this morning saying Super Tuesday's turnout numbers prove America is ready for change. Republican voters heavily outnumbered Democratic voters yesterday. Apple appealing a judge's order that it helped the FBI access data on an iPhone belonging to one of the San Bernardino shooters, the tech company filing that appeal late yesterday. The legal age to buy cigarettes in San Francisco going up from 18 to 21. Astronaut Scott Kelly says he's ready to rediscover Earth. After spending almost a year on the International Space Station, Kelly and 2 Russian cosmonauts landing safely in their Soyuz capsule. More snow on the way for the Chicago area later tonight. 1 to 3 inches is possible. A suburban Oak Forest police officer is facing charges after the stabbing of a teen in California. Authorities say Arthur Roman was involved in a fight Sunday outside a Huntington Beach gym. And Whole Foods is recalling Maytag brand raw milk blue cheese because of a possible listeria contamination. It is part of a nationwide recall and investigation. Miami beat the Bulls 129-111. The news service of Massage Envy. Massage Envy, they know there's nothing like relaxation. That's why their first-time guests relax with a customized massage for only $49.99 or facial for $59.99. Schedule today at Massage Envy. See clinics for details. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Even after a win in Nevada, Mike Gallagher isn't ready to call Trump the nominee.
The establishment, make no mistake, these guys do not like Donald Trump. They do not like Ted Cruz. But these guys are saying it looks like it's going to be Trump. You're not going to be able to stop Trump. And I have to confess, I don't see that right now. And I wonder if that's not a bit of a game that they're playing. Because there's a lot of gamesmanship, let's face it.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
LiveWatch helps you connect and respond up to 10 times faster in an emergency. LiveWatch has no long-term contracts. Save up to 50% off home security. Call 855-LiveWatch or visit livewatch.com.
Fact, more than 30,000 students have gone to college using College Illinois prepaid tuition benefits. Lock in future tuition at today's plan rates so your child can join the growing number of College Illinois success stories. Enroll today at collegeillinois.org.
Build business with Chamber 630, one of the largest business organizations in DuPage County. Marketing your business and connecting clients is their priority. Visit chamber630.com or call 630-968-4050 to join today.
There are 2 kinds of pain that goes away and the worst kind, chronic pain. If you suffer from chronic pain, life is not complete and it can be miserable. Unfortunately, most people use narcotics that mask the pain. You need to find the source of the chronic pain and get relief.
This is Dr. Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. We're serious players in the management of pain, and our team are national leaders as well as being educators in the treatment of pain. We will work with you to diminish or eliminate your pain and help you get your life back. You know, there's a nationwide narcotics epidemic, and people are too quick to mask over chronic pain instead of looking for the cause and treating or eliminating the pain. Contact us. We will help you.
Go to mypainchicago.com. Call and make an appointment with some of the best pain people in the nation, located here in Chicago. mypainchicago.com. You or someone you know suffers in the suffering of chronic pain. mypainchicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
For as long as you can remember, your spouse has been your rock, but when they begin to experience signs of memory loss, you both need someone to lean on. A pioneer in memory care assisted living, Autumn Leaves designs every residence exclusively for those with Alzheimer's and dementia. Autumn Leaves staff members provide personalized care for each resident to unlock memories and create moments of joy. So while your spouse receives the best care available, you can focus solely on loving them. There's so much more at Autumn Leaves. Learn more today at autumnleaves.com/Chicago.
7:37 in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. The very latest now with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens has delays between Toohey and the Junction. 30 minutes Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 24. The Kennedy, 1 hour from O'Hare to downtown, outbound 40 minutes. The Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 39 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 7 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 5. Ryan, it's 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eastbound Adams Tollway, really slow from Bartlett Road to 53. Westbound slow Meacham to past Roselle with road work in the left lane. Traffic service at Jewel Osco. This week, Jewel has 1 pound packages of strawberries for just 99 cents each. Fresh, boneless, skinless chicken breasts or thighs. Value packs, $1.77 a pound. And a gallon of 1%, 2% skim or whole Lucerne milk is just $1.99. Limit 2. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. AirComfort.com, 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. A cold day ahead. Sunshine this morning gives way to afternoon clouds. High 31 and snow overnight. 1 to 3 inches. A low of 25. 13 at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. HealthQuest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. You know, Amy, I've been wanting to get to this piece that was written in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend all week, and just haven't been able to. But let's get to it now before we take some of your calls. Neil Freeman writing the Wall Street Journal on the occasion of remembering 50 years ago the advent of Firing Line, the great Bill Buckley interview show that was on PBS, actually, and writing... It's hard to imagine today, but there was once a charming and commanding conservative presence at the center of American culture. It's an indictment of the media that to the degree that conservative views are aired these days, they are largely restricted to roped-off areas on cable TV or talk radio. Remember, the bulk of Firing Line was run on PBS. It's also not clear that today's media, with its rewards for coarser, quicker kind of combat, would have any tolerance for someone of Buckley's erudition and willingness to tease out an argument slowly. He also goes on, Freeman, who is a board member at National Review, the, of course, outlet that Bill Buckley founded. He was a board member there for 35 years. Freeman goes on to say, modern conservatism isn't without its fault. The proponents of smaller government, free markets, and individual freedoms are too often unwilling or unable to make their case with anything approaching the verve and clarity that Buckley brought to the subject and brought into the homes of millions of Americans. For them, Buckley personified conservatism, and it sure looked fun. Say what you will about the Republicans running for their party's presidential nomination, none of them comes close to conveying the intellectual joy of conservatism once displayed by a guy who ran for mayor of New York, and quite unsuccessfully, spectacularly unsuccessfully at that, but he wanted to make a point. And I think there's two things to that are important and relevant today. One is we're calling 50 years ago Firing Line, and Buckley, the founder of modern conservatism in this country, that was the beginning of a movement. The Freeman's last paragraph there about modern conservatism and its faults, that's 50 years later, where we do not have people that, as he writes, convey the intellectual joy of conservatism, make the arguments consistently in defense of free minds, free markets, and a free society. And that leaves people disenfranchised. It leaves people who are struggling angry, and it sows the seeds of the revolt that is the Trump candidacy.
What do you think Buckley would think of this rise of Donald Trump?
Well, he wrote
and the
about
support of the outsiders.
Well, he wrote about Donald Trump.
Oh, that's right.
Before his death.
Yeah, you read that.
Yeah,
on the air.
and he did not write favorably about it. I mean, Buckley was, kind of a Boston Brahmin of sorts with his affectation and accent and vocabulary, but he did not like the kind of brutish braggart type that Donald Trump clearly is. Like him, dislike him, vote for him, don't vote for him. I think it's difficult to argue with that description. So I don't think Buckley would be whipped into a frenzy over the Trump candidacy. He probably would have been the lead editorial on the anti-Trump symposium that National Review published.
Yeah, the 22. Yeah.
All right, well, why don't we get some reactions to that philosophical tangent, as well as to last night's results and what people are going to do here in Illinois in 2 weeks. Let's go to Kelly in Montgomery.
Dan, Amy, love the show.
Thank you.
For the last 50 years or so, the Democrats have painted the Republican Party as a bunch of old, rich, white guys that are sexist, bigoted, homophobic, corporatists. Donald Trump is the personification of exactly what they've been saying about the Republican Party for the last 50 years. And my fear is that in the upcoming general election, with Trump being our nominee, they're going to use that very effectively against him, and we're going to end up losing.
Thanks for the call, Kelly. I mean, that is one of the perspectives. Now, the flip side of that, just to provide a counterpoint, is the turnout in Republican primaries, particularly as compared to Democrat primaries, up 50% over all-time highs in places like Virginia and Massachusetts. It was up 27% combined in Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina, while you see...
And up 52% in Nevada.
Yeah, right.
I mean, even the one, precinct that my aunt was a captain of.
Aunt Linda.
Aunt Linda, 33,000 voted. 2012, 75,000 voted this time. I mean, those numbers are staggering.
And you have
people came in wheelchairs. I mean, the elderly got up and found a way to the polling place.
Well, and you have to attribute a substantial part of that to the Trump phenomenon, because this is a movement, and that's what movement drives, participation. So there's something to be said for bringing a lot of people out of retirement from the process back into the process. And does that more than make up for the disgust that some conservative intellectuals and Beltway elites and other just Republican rank and file, I should say, have for Donald Trump? I think that's a bit of an open question. Roger in Ingleside.
Yes, personally, I hope that this is the end of the Republican Party as we know it. A party that just voted $2 trillion in debt, had just fully funded Planned Parenthood, and yet turns around and blames Donald Trump for even talking favorably about Planned Parenthood at all. Yet they just fully funded them right after all those videotapes came out. This is not the party of Reagan. The Republican Party right now is a war party. Reagan was peace through strength. This party is ready to fight at the drop of a hat. They have no self-restraint when it comes to that. If we can push all of these Beltway elites and intellectual conservatives out of the party, it would be a great day for America, because the Republican Party as it stands right now is killing itself. It doesn't represent anybody. It's full of a pack of liars and thieves and scoundrels, beginning with Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, the two biggest scoundrels running for president. Okay. Trump could say in 1 minute that he is against the mandate, and 2 seconds later they're saying he's for it.
Thanks for the call, Roger. Rich in Milwaukee.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I think this just goes to show the ineptitude of the Republicans in Congress. They're planning on, giving Donald Trump everything that he wants, just like they gave Barack Obama. And, why are they not, why are they not standing up and saying, we're not going to give him everything that he wants? They're just already, giving in to him before he even gets elected.
Thanks for the call, Rich. I mean, do people have a concern that Donald Trump could be like Barack Obama in terms of being an imperial ruler rather than somebody that wants to do whatever he can do so long as 1/3 of the Senate will sustain his veto? I mean, that's been the Obama model of governance.
He sure sounded like a dictator last night when he was talking about Paul Ryan.
Look, I don't want to waste a lot of time.
I disavowed. Okay, I'm going to get along great with Congress, okay? Paul Ryan, I don't know him well, but I'm sure I'm going to get along great with him. And if I don't, he's going to have to pay a big price, okay?
Jay and Glen Ellen, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, morning. How are you? I loved your show.
Thank you.
Hey, I was listening to your segment earlier, and I think you hit it right on the head. It's really not Donald Trump that people are rallying around. It's the environment which our country is in right now. You know, basically, we sent the Republicans a message 2 years ago with giving them the biggest majority they've had in over 85 years. And basically what they did with it is they rolled over and played dead. You know, I'm in the Army Reserve still. I go down to Fort Benning every year, and I've never seen troop morale as low as I've ever seen it. And I just feel it when I'm out now. You know, I'm running for Congress against Peter Roscoe. And there is not just people want to change in Washington. They want Washington blown up. People are just upset. And they look around and they see nothing happening, nothing has been changed. And, you know, recently, you know, more Democrats voted for that omnibus bill than Republicans, and certain Republicans voted along with, including our representative in the 6th District. So people are ready for a change. They want to just kind of throw the bums out. I'm a very measured guy, kind of like you. I've followed your career for a long time. I was thinking about running for Congress maybe in a couple of years. I'm a physician in the Army Reserve, a local representative in Glen Ellen. But when I saw the environment and how angry people were, I went to Trump's website. I said, what's the attraction of this guy? There's not much there. I mean, there's not much substance. And I said to myself, people are rallying around this guy, and there's not much there, but it's the attitude of the country that's kind of catapulting him. And that's basically what's kind of going on, I think, across the country, which is that people just want to get rid of these insider Washington politicians that get along and haven't done anything. They've been given chances, and they just haven't done anything.
Thanks for the call, Jay. Appreciate it.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Plenty of glorious sunshine to start your day. We will have clouds by this afternoon, a high of 31 degrees. And tonight, the snow begins anywhere from a dusting to an inch, and it will continue until tomorrow morning's rush hour. A high tomorrow of 32 degrees. Travel times look good out there, Jim Telemonte?
It's pretty heavy on the Kennedy, Amy. A 61-minute drive now from O'Hare to downtown. 33 minutes from Montrose, 26 in the Express. Outbound 40 minutes downtown to the airport. Edens, 30 minutes like Hook to Montrose, outbound 24. The Ike, an hour and 14 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, an hour from Manheim. Outbound 44 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 37 minutes. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Delays on the northbound Tri-State come in pockets between 95th and 31st. Then slow from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Adams Tollway really slow from Bartlett to 53. And from the Des Plaines Oasis to Lee, westbound there's a delay. Meacham to past Roselle with road work in the left lane. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Saul Z and the Z team.
ZZ team, go team.
Imagine working with a realtor who has many times the buyers lined up that the average realtor does and sells an average of 300 homes a year. You can work with such a realtor. His name is Saul Z, and he's got a Z team who guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to. 29 days pass without a sale. Saul will buy it or help you run it. And you won't be obligated if you aren't happy, so I'll let you out of the contract. Saul is so confident in selling your home because he has the most advanced marketing system for a faster sale at a great price. For example, after unsuccessfully listing his 2-unit building in Jefferson Park with another agent and watching it sit unsold, Bruce heard about Saul Z and the Z team on Sean Hannity. Saul showed Bruce his marketing plan. Bruce listed with Saul for $495,000. Saul brought Bruce 2 offers in the first 5 days and sold it for $490,000. The Wall Street Journal ranks Saul number 106 out of more than 1.2 million agents because his team sells many more homes than the national average. That's why I'll be calling Saul when I'm ready to sell or buy a new home. Go to callsaul.net. That's callsaul.net to find out what your home's worth, or call Saul directly at 888-346-0666. That's 888-346-0666 and start packing.
Hi, I'm Carl Deichler, the CEO of Beachbody, and I'm here to tell you about an amazing new way you can start losing weight for free right now. You've probably seen our workout DVDs on TV like P90X, Insanity, and 21 Day Fix. We just launched a beta trial of our new digital video platform, Beachbody On Demand. So while we're testing out this new digital video service, I'm inviting you to use it for free for 30 days. That means you can lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, even 30 pounds without paying a dime. Just text the word trial to 313131 and you can do 30 days of P90X, Insanity, or any of over 400 workouts for free. Now here's the catch. In return, all I ask is you let us know what you think of the service so we can make Beachbody On Demand the best fitness and weight loss site ever created. Just text trial to 313131 and get started for free right now. Again, text trial to 313131.
Message and data rates may apply. Membership fees apply after 30-day trial. Cancel anytime.
I'm Dan Proft with an Upstream Idea brought to you by the Illinois Policy Institute. 27. Illinois state employees, on average, receive total compensation 27% higher than their private sector counterparts. State employees made nearly $4,000 more in wages and $13,000 in benefits than private sector employees. More than half of state workers will retire before the age of 60 with a guaranteed state pension. The state is in a financial death spiral with ground impact imminent. So keep this in mind as Governor Bruce Rauner breaks off contract talks with AFSCME, the state's largest public sector union. AFSCME has been unwilling to give on its demands for annual step increases of 3.8%, in addition to annual general wage increases. The lowball estimate of the cost of what AFSCME demands is $1.6 billion. That's $1.6 billion more from Illinois families who already pay the highest property taxes in the nation. This is Governor Rauner's moment of truth. He ran for office saying he is not a politician. He said he is a businessman who will make the difficult decisions to turn around the state he loves. We're about to find out if that's true. For more Upstream ideas, visit upstream-ideas.com. I'm Dan Proft.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, Dan and Amy, let's get back to our callers. A lot of people want to weigh in, understandably so. How about Chris in Forest Park? You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Thank you. I just got to say, I think that Trump is the embodiment of what Buckley continuously warned against. And I think Republicans everywhere have got to take a very close look at how we don't know what Trump will do. It's just impossible, Dan and Amy. I think it's impossible to know what this guy is actually going to do. How do we have any sense of it? There is no record. He's all over the map with his conversations and his positions. Do you guys know what he's going to do? I sure don't.
No, because anytime any member of the press asks him about, education policy or his foreign policy, he just says, "Well, I'll get the greatest person. I'll get the greatest people to help me."
Well, I think
that's his response.
I think it's deeper than that. I think the problem is I don't know what to be concerned about because I don't believe anything he says. I don't believe anything he says is in granite, except maybe that wall. I just don't believe it, and so I don't know what I should be concerned about, other than Trump again governing like an imperial ruler as we've had the last 7 years, even if he chooses different policy tracks. Chris in Des Plaines, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning. Thanks for taking the call. To build on the previous Chris's call, I guess I'm what you would consider one of those National Review intellectual, conservative, Republican rank and file voters. The fact is that what we've seen, and Obama was the perfect personification of this, is the building cult of personality when it comes to the presidency. I'd be willing to bet the reason you're seeing that high voter turnout is name recognition. If someone like Bill O'Reilly or Sean Hannity ran for president, you'd see unprecedented Republican voter turnouts. And it wouldn't matter how effective they'd be as president. It would just be that name recognition. Ooh, we've got somebody we know in office. Thanks.
Thanks for the call, Chris. I think that's part of it. Frank in Naperville.
Yeah. Hey, just really quick on that article you referenced about William F. Buckley. A person has to truly believe it and passionately live that life to be a good orator about it. Nobody on the stage these days does that. Nobody believes the true conservative values. And words mean things. And one of the questions you asked earlier was, is this a death of the modern Republican Party? The Republican Party died a long time ago. The Tea Party movement was a phenomenal movement that everybody was fed up with government. And what happened? The Republicans turned on us and killed us, lambasted us. And now they want us to come out and vote for him? We're backing Trump and somebody that's going to tear down the establishment because we're so PO'd about it.
Thanks for the call, Frank.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. F- it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer. And now, a moment of objectivism with Yaron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
Novelist and philosopher Ayn Rand was a teenager when the Soviets first allowed foreign films to be shown in Russian movie theaters. The shots of streets and skylines offered Rand the first precious glimpses of a land that resonated with her vision of the ideal, America. America, a land dedicated to protecting the freedom of the individual, stood in sharp contrast to the collectivism of communist Russia where she grew up. Rand would eventually escape Russia and immigrate to America, a place where society thrived and each individual was free to pursue his own life and happiness. She described it as the greatest, the noblest, and in its original founding principles, the only moral country in the history of the world. From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm Yaron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brook Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ariradio.com.
Why are Ayn Rand's ideas so compelling? Her worldview, her philosophy, expressed dramatically in her novels Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead, embodies the ideals stated by the Founding Fathers in the Declaration of Independence and sets forth the requirements necessary to achieve a flourishing life. She called her philosophy objectivism and said it was a philosophy for living on Earth. Today, decades after her death, objectivism continues to stir debate and inspire passion for the spirit of individualism and the enduring American dream. The following is a paid political announcement.
Hi, my name's Jay Kinsler, and I'm running for Congress because, like you, I'm fed up with both parties in Washington, D.C. We sent the largest Republican majority in our lifetimes to stop Obama's agenda, and instead of standing up, they rolled over and played dead. My opponent, Peter Roskam, for whom I have repeatedly voted for and helped, no longer represents the conservative values we all share. He voted with 166 Democrats to fully fund Obama's last year in office. Planned Parenthood, Obamacare, Obama's amnesty, and has voted to raise the debt ceiling and even to keep Boehner as Speaker of the House. I am a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve, a surgeon, president of the medical staff at Elmhurst Hospital, and a local government official. I save lives, balance budgets, and lead for a living. I will not betray your values or trust like Peter Roskam has in Washington. Send D.C. a message. Vote Kinsler for Congress, March 15th.
Paid for and authorized by the Kinsler for Congress Committee.
In business, risks and rewards come with every decision, like moving to the cloud with Office 365. While its benefits include anywhere access and lower costs, cyber threats and user errors can quickly wipe out data and the money you save. Barracuda Essentials for Office 365 provide an added layer of security and functionality for threat protection, email migration, data recovery, and quality of service. Move securely to Office 365. Visit barracuda.com/essentials to learn more.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Is Trump really just a beta test for the disaffected? We'll ask Ben Domenech from The Federalist at 8:08.
And later, our good friend Stephen Moore joins us. But first, we join Mike Scott in the newsroom.
Amy and Dan, more snow on the way. A judge dismisses a Cruz eligibility petition and a Gary murder suspect nabbed in Texas. Cold day ahead with morning sunshine. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Dave Anthony. Millions more Americans have had their say.
I voted for Donald Trump because I'm ready for this country to be run like a business.
He's in Tennessee, one of 7 states Donald Trump won on Super Tuesday. These women are for Hillary.
Awesome. She's fighting for us. She's fighting for the people. That's what it's about.
She also won 7 contests. Trump calls himself a unifier.
And when we unify, there's nobody that's going to beat us.
Ted Cruz won 3 states and had a message for Marco, John Kasich, and Ben Carson.
I ask you to prayerfully consider our coming together, uniting.
But none of them are dropping out. Rubio won his first state in Minnesota and then said,
I will do whatever it takes to prevent a con artist like Donald Trump from ever becoming the Republican nominee.
Now we look at the Democrats. Here's Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Miami.
Dave, Hillary Clinton won 7 states, including delegate-rich Texas. Bernie Sanders picked up 4. With 35 contests left, Sanders says he's not giving up and will take the fight to every state.
For economic justice, for social justice, for environmental sanity, for a world of peace to every one of those states.
Clinton is looking forward to the Florida primary on March 15th. She rallied supporters in Miami last night going after Donald Trump.
Instead of building walls, we're going to break down barriers.
Democrats vote in Kansas, Louisiana, and Nebraska on Saturday. Dave.
Rachel, there's a big abortion case about to be argued at the Supreme Court, where Fox's John Decker's live.
Dave, it is the Supreme Court's first abortion rights case in nearly a decade, and the line for spectators started forming before daylight. At issue is a Texas law that requires doctors who perform abortions to hold admitting privileges to a local hospital. The law also mandates that abortion clinics meet the standards of outpatient surgical facilities. Pro-life advocates say the regulations will protect the health of women. Pro-choice groups say the law is aimed at closing down dozens of Texas abortion clinics.
Partly sunny, 19 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A powerful shallow earthquake has struck off the southwest coast of Sumatra in Indonesia. It's a breaking story we'll follow for the remainder of this morning. There is a tsunami warning that has been posted for several island chains. Right now, no immediate reports of injuries or damage. The powerful but shallow earthquake was far off the coast of Sumatra, but could impact again with a tsunami other islands in Southeast Asia. More snow could be on the way for the Chicago area. The National Weather Service says snow is likely to fall tonight, 1 to 3 inches possible. A judge dismissing a claim that Republican presidential candidate Ted Cruz isn't eligible for the Illinois ballot because he was born in Canada. Cook County Circuit Court judge tossed that case. The attorney who filed that complaint, Lawrence Joyce, failed to give a copy of it to Cruz or state electoral board members as required by law.
My main concern all along has been keeping Senator Cruz from being the nominee of the party.
Joyce arguing the Texas senator can't be president because he wasn't born stateside. A suburban Oak Forest police officer faces charges in the stabbing of a teen in California. Arthur Roman was involved in that fight Sunday outside a Huntington Beach gym. Two of the officers' relatives were also charged in that incident. Chicago sports last night, Miami beat the Bulls 129-111. College hoops, Villanova or DePaul. In the MAC, Eastern Michigan a win over our Northern Illinois Huskies 75-71. The news, a service of Whole Foods Market. This week at Whole Foods Market, save on fresh asparagus, just $2.49 per pound through this Tuesday, and get organic whole tray bell peppers, just $2.99 per pound. Stock up and save today at Whole Foods Market, America's healthiest grocery store. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Turnkey.pro. With the latest from the Fox Business Network and Lillian Wu.
From the Fox Business Network, on Wall Street, stock futures heading lower this morning after posting their best day in more than a month. Sports Authority filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The retailer, which has 463 stores in 41 states and Puerto Rico, planning to sell or close about 140 stores and 2 distribution centers. CEO says the company needs fewer stores, with consumers increasingly shifting to online shopping. There's a sweet deal for an Apple Watch being made to employees at 3 U.S. companies, along with John Hancock life insurance customers. A $350 watch for $25 by meeting exercise goals for 2 years. The offer from the Vitality Institute, which has been testing the program in South Africa since December. And in Germany, possibly the first case of a private car owner suing for compensation over the Volkswagen emissions cheating scandal. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Lillian Wu.
8:05 in Chicago, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Each year, the month of March is all about the madness. This year, as the number of candidates dwindles and the delegate count climbs, the remaining candidates will meet for one final debate. And AM 560 is hosting the final debate watch party of the primary season. Join us for March to the White House, a Republican debate watch party presented by Innovative Networks on Thursday, March 10th at Austin's Fuel Room in Libertyville. Tickets are just $25 and include an all-you-can-eat buffet. Visit 560theanswer.com/March. Sponsored in part by DS Arms.
The only significant among all the vitamins I changed, nothing affected cholesterol. I took this and my cholesterol dropped by 15 or 20%.
Yeah, with the acid reflux, and I have GERD and gastritis, and it really seems to be helping a lot, and my husband too. I mean, we're very happy with the product, I got to say it. It's been great, and we've seen dramatic results, so I can't say anything bad about it. We've really been happy with the product. We've been amazed with it.
There is a value in it because it has fruits and veggies, and I'm not a fruit and veggies eater, and I know this is helpful.
Good health is just a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Call now and take the health challenge to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
At GoDaddy, a domain name is the beginning of something awesome. Use it to create a website to promote your business. Open an online store to sell your products. Start a blog. Build your brand. You can even connect your domain to your LinkedIn or Facebook page. And GoDaddy customer support is always ready to help. What will you do with your domain name? Get a free domain with website from GoDaddy.com, starting at $1 a month. Annual purchase of website builder required. Price valid first year only. See website for details.
I recently received my doctorate in astronomy. So mapping trans-Neptunian planets is a cakewalk. But tracking the trajectory of my financial future? Not so much. Fortunately, I've got TIAA. They helped me figure out a long-term personalized plan for my finances that I'm, well, over the moon about.
See how we're helping those who do good do well at the new TIAA.org. TIAA, created to serve, built to perform.
8:07 in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy has delays all the way in from the River Road Toll Plaza. It is an hour and 6 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 40 minutes from Montrose, 26 on the Express. Outbound 36 minutes from downtown to the airport. Eden's 26 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 25. Eisenhower, an hour and 14 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, an hour from Manheim, outbound 49 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37 minutes. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, scattered delays from 95th to 31st, and slow from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway, slow Bartlett to 53, and from the Des Plaines Oasis to Lee. Westbound jammed Meacham to past Barrington Road, where there's road work in the right lane. Reagan Tollway, stop and go 31 to Eola, and Winfield to Yackley. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Sunshine followed by clouds today with a high 32, then a little late night snow tonight, accumulating a coating to an inch, low 26. Bit of snow left over for the morning, a coating to an inch, otherwise mostly cloudy and breezy, high 32. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, 14 degrees at O'Hare. We have 19 along the lakefront. Next news coming up at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Live with Andrew Holmes. Get honest answers to your questions every Sunday at 12 noon.
Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
I believe what we need in America today is more love and kindness.
I am a unifier. Once we get all of this finished, I'm going to go after one person. That's Hillary Clinton, on the assumption she's allowed to run, which is a big assumption. I don't know that she's going to be allowed to run.
But we may be in a position where after rally around Ted Cruz is the only way to stop Donald Trump. So you would? I'm not so sure that would work.
But you'd recommend that in order to stop Donald Trump, rally behind Ted Cruz.
I can't believe I would say yes, but yes.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. What up, Dan and Amy? You heard at the top Donald Trump in his press conference last night at Mar-a-Lago suggesting that he's a unifier and he's going to bring the party together, focus on Hillary if he's the nominee. and he got 7 states closer to being the nominee last night. And he also said if she's able to run, I'm not sure she's able to run.
I don't know. I haven't looked at it. I mean, I don't know. What do you know?
Well, I'll tell you what. Donald Trump thinks anybody he's focused on is ineligible to be president. He thinks Cruz is. He thinks Rubio is. This may be the first time he's right. So he may be onto something. Jim Comey, by the way, he's the director of the FBI, don't you know? He was before the House Judiciary Committee on the Hill yesterday. He was asked about the Clinton email investigation, and he said, what I can assure you is that I'm very close personally to that investigation.
Good.
To ensure that we have the resources we need, including people and technology, and it's done the way the FBI tries to do all of its work independently, competently, and promptly. That's our goal, and I'm confident that it's being done that way, but I can't give you any more details beyond that. Well, that's a little bit more than Loretta Lynch gave us, so we still don't know if that is going to be concluded before the November election.
I mean, one thing I took away from her interview with Brett Baer is that I don't think it's going to be completed before the election.
Well, no, we'll see. I don't know. I think I don't know how long it takes, given everything that's been presented, given the black letter of the law, given time for the people and the technology that Jim Comey referenced to be employed to drive some kind of a conclusion that is then referred to the Justice Department one way or the other. I suspect that it actually will happen before the election, but that's supposition because
you're on record.
We're not getting any answers from Comey or Loretta Lynch on that topic. On that topic and many others, we're now joined by Ben Domenech, who's the publisher of The Federalist, thefederalist.com. Worth checking out every day. A lot of good commentary there. Ben, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Good to be with you.
So you wrote a piece about Donald Trump, the presumptive nominee at this point, I would argue. I know some pundits wouldn't, but I would. And you suggested that Trump is a beta test for the cure that disaffected center-right types are looking for. Expound upon that.
So really what I think is sort of going on here is, a good bit of chaos from the perspective of the elites, the establishment, the political leadership that has been, a class that has led the country for quite a long time. And I think that chaos is really just an expression of democracy. I don't think that it's quite as crazy as the people in Washington would necessarily think. I think it's much more of a typical sort of expression of democracy from the perspective of the people. What we did see, over the course of the past couple of hours is that Trump actually underperformed a little bit based on his expectations. You saw Ted Cruz do a little bit better, honestly, than a lot of pollsters had expected in terms of the number of states that he won and in terms of his delegate count, which I think has to encourage the Cruz campaign. But at the same time, I think that you are correct in the sense that Donald Trump is the presumptive Republican nominee, that there's nothing that looks like it's going to disrupt that in the immediate sense, and that he is the likeliest candidate in the fall. I think that people don't understand, or perhaps, are only waking up to the idea that this is something that is affirmatively being chosen by Republican voters because they want dramatic change in Washington. And I think that that's something that, is troubling, certainly, to the Mitch McConnells of the world, to those who are saying, we've got to do something to try to disrupt him. But I think that they're only recognizing that a little bit too late. And for those of us who've been kind of warning about the seriousness of this for several months now, it is sort of saying, hey, I wish you would have listened to us back in November when we were saying that this is real and not just a celebrity candidacy or something like that.
But, Ben, don't you think the Republican Party is a party divided right now? I mean, look, yesterday you had House Speaker Paul Ryan. He broke his own rule about not talking about the presidential race, come out and say that this party does not prey on people's prejudices. What kind of message was he trying to send to Donald Trump and Trump supporters?
Well, it's interesting to think about Paul Ryan in this context. He comes out and says that this is a party that doesn't play on people's prejudices. It absolutely does. Well, both parties do. And this is something that I think Donald Trump has exploited to a great degree. Paul Ryan is the opposite on so many different issues when it comes to Donald Trump. He's certainly the opposite when it comes to entitlements, when it comes to entitlement reform. This is something that has been a part of his brand ever since he got into politics and has been at the center of his agenda when it comes to what he's trying to push through the Congress and what he wants to push through in the future. But I think that he's failing to recognize the same thing that other Republicans have failed to recognize, which is that their party now includes a significant degree to a significant degree, a number of economic nationalists who agree with Donald Trump when it comes to trade, immigration, entitlements, things of that nature. And they're going to have to wake up to the fact that, hey, we have a big tent party, or you've talked about a big tent party in the past. That's going to include those issues that you care about now, too, as opposed to the ones that the establishment was comfortable sort of including before. And I think that that's something that's going to be a challenge for Ryan. It's going to be a challenge for a lot of other Republicans. I don't think that his statement the other day is going to have any impact on the cycle at all. It's not going to really change the way that the voters are viewing Donald Trump, which is a strong leader who is somebody who's going to change things up. And I don't think that it's going to change the way that people necessarily view the Republicans in Congress, which is a situation that I think is an example of just how weak the establishment has turned out to be. For all of the griping about all that they've done over the past several years, it turns out that the elites are just not very good at running their own party or controlling what Republican voters actually do.
Well, that's right. And it turns out there's a lot more disaffected people that have been hurt financially and ridiculed culturally than there are conservative elites, particularly those unwilling to take up something sharp and fight on their behalf. That seems to be one of the cases as well. But I wonder if you see the parallel between 2008 and 2016. To me, 2008, the synonym for populism was hope. And in 2016, it's winning. You have two populist demagogues that are driving record turnout among their disaffected constituents, respectively. And we know where 2008 wound up. Angelo Codevilla, who the author of Ruling Class, which was one of the first kind of to diagnose this establishment ruling class bipartisan cabal in D.C., has a piece on your website, The Federalist, essentially suggesting that Trump is going to be Obama. Are you in that camp as well?
I think that he could be in a couple of different senses. First off, I think that there's no context in which Donald Trump is successful, barring the initial success of Barack Obama. You had to have someone like Obama come along, treat the presidency as this authoritarian sort of agency, and also sort of promise to the people this savior figure in order for someone like Trump to have success. Second, I think that there's also a situation with Trump where, for all the promises that he's giving when it comes to all these different things he's going to address, as president, the reality is that what he's promising is not something that is going to be easy for him to deliver on, in the same way that it was difficult for President Obama to actually deliver on that promise of hope and change. If you look back at the situation in 2008 as well, we forget so quickly, that the idea that President Obama then, as a candidate, suggested that people were clinging to their guns and religion. We forget that was actually a statement that was in the context of the primary. It was said about Hillary Clinton's voters, many of whom I think are now supporting Donald Trump because they are culturally sort of in this disaffected class, white working class, ex-Democrats basically, who feel that they've been abandoned by a party that has now shifted to urban elites, college kids, etc. And I think that that's something that has really driven the Trump, sort of momentum from the beginning, and it's going to continue to drive it. This is something that's going to be very difficult for Trump to deliver on if he does become president. But I think that conservatives are slowly sort of waking up to the idea that, hey, we're going to have to make our solutions a vehicle for him to deliver success, as opposed to just guarding against him in the generalized sense and pretending that he's not going to be the nominee.
Hey, Ben, what did you think last night of Chris Christie? I mean, we know that he's supporting Donald Trump, but him standing behind him during his victory speech.
Chris Christie,
last-ditch effort to be relevant?
Chris Christie is making a bet, and I understand why he's making it. I mean, the bet is basically, I wasn't going to get a job from Marco Rubio after taking him to task. I wasn't going to get a job from Ted Cruz, who loathes me because he thinks that I'm not a conservative. So I'm going to sidle up to Donald Trump because he's the likeliest guy to give me a job as Attorney General of the United States of America if he's elected president. And Christie is making kind of a rational decision within that context. At the same time, it was interesting to see how quickly the establishment vociferously turned on him and excoriated him for endorsing Trump.
More evidence. More evidence of how weak the establishment is. They can't stop Chris Christie. And the other thing they can't stop is the math. And so if Trump continues to pile up victories on March 15th and beyond, like he has to this point, Never Trump is a nice hashtag campaign, but it's about as effective as bring our girls back from Michelle Obama. Is there any possibility you see of actually recruiting a viable independent conservative candidate to run Hillary versus Trump and Hillary?
You played the audio right before this segment from Lindsey Graham saying, hey, we have to rally around Ted Cruz in order to stop Donald Trump. If he had been saying that a month ago, I think that they might have had the time to do it. The reality is that now I think they're too late to do it, and Marco Rubio is likely to go down to Donald Trump in Florida, which is a winner-take-all state, as you know. And I think that if we wake up on March 16th and Trump has won the winner-take-all states of Ohio and Florida, then he's pretty much cemented in there as the nominee. It would really take something significant to prevent him from being able to amass the delegate counts that he needs in order to be the nominee. And I think that that's unlikely to happen. If the establishment, if moderates and the donor class had decided that Ted Cruz was more acceptable as a nominee a month ago, then I think that he would be the nominee. But I think that they missed their opportunity to do that.
All right. He is Ben Domenech, the publisher of The Federalist, thefederalist.com. Ben, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Great to be with you, as always.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Brilliant sunshine today. Enjoy it because it's going to go away this evening when the snow moves in yet again. We're going to have anywhere from a dusting to an inch by the time it's all said and done, and it should be tapering off by tomorrow early afternoon. And tomorrow we'll have a high of 32 degrees. Any troubles on the roadways? Here's Jim Talamonte with the answer.
Yes, Amy, on I-80 eastbound at Stop and Go Pulaski to the Tri-State. There's a crash on the ramp to southbound 294. Eden's inbound 26 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 30. The Kennedy an hour and 11 minutes. O'Hare to downtown 46 minutes from Montrose. 26 on the Express outbound 36 to O'Hare. The Eisenhower an hour and 20 minutes. Thorndale to downtown an hour 13 from Manhunt. Outbound 49 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson an hour 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound now fine. Ryan is 30 minutes 95th to downtown Lakeshore Drive. The delays are southbound Lawrence to Fullerton and 18th to the Stevenson, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com, Traffic Center.
Running a business can be challenging, especially here in Illinois. You face mountains of regulations on top of mountains of taxes and fees, not to mention new Obamacare requirements. Business owners who manage to survive and thrive deserve to be recognized, and that's exactly what we here at AM 560, The Answer, are going to do. This spring, we'll be hitting the road on the AM 560 Business Tour, presented by Signature Bank, where I do my business banking. It's a way for us to celebrate local businesses who are overcoming the odds and succeeding in spite of the many challenges they face. We want to give back to the business community by broadcasting this show live from various locations throughout Chicagoland. Does your business have a great success story? If so, we want to hear about it. Go to 560theanswer.com/business. Fill out the brief form to tell us about how you and your business are beating the odds to serve your clients and your community. We'll select several businesses as stops on our AM 560 Business Tour, and we'll broadcast from your location to share your success with our audience. We hope to inspire other business owners and show the world that, yes, you did build that. So go to 560theanswer.com/business to tell us your story, and we may be stopping at your location this spring on the AM 560 Business Tour.
CertaPro are the experts in exterior painting, but now is the perfect time to paint your interior. Refresh and renew your living space and escape the winter doldrums. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and I've used CertaPro several times to paint my home. They're fast, efficient, clean, so quiet I didn't even know they were there. CertaPro is easy to work with. Your life won't be disrupted by messy, inconsiderate contractors. They will move the furniture, and when they finish, they will move it back. With their color specialist, CertaPro takes the stress out of choosing the perfect color. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life. Call CertaPro today at 1-800-GO-CERTA or visit CertaPro.com. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's Certa with a C. And book your winter painting project. Schedule your free estimate today. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Fact! Approximately 60% of all residential properties in Cook County are overassessed and paying way too much in property taxes. Here's the good news. lose. If you live anywhere in Cook County, Chicago, or the burbs, now there's a way to find out in 60 seconds or less if you're one of the 60% that's overpaying. IAppealPropertyTax.com will give you your estimated savings without cost or obligation. If you decide to appeal your taxes, IAppealPropertyTax.com handles the entire process for a modest flat fee depending on your actual tax savings. IAppealPropertyTax.com has an 85% success rate once the appeal is filed. And if your appeal isn't successful, it costs you $0. So if you're a Cook County property owner and even suspect your taxes are too high, visit IAppealPropertyTax.com. That's IAppealPropertyTax.com. Do it now. You've got nothing to lose and potentially a lot to save. IAppealPropertyTax.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, if Trump is the nominee, is the GOP going away, or are rumors of its death greatly exaggerated? Taking your calls, 312-642-5600. Turnkey.pro, answer line 646-368, turnkey.pro. Text line, let's go to Ed in LaGrange. You're on Chicago's Morning.
Good morning, guys. It looked to me like Chris Christie was actually auditioning for the part of Tony Soprano if they ever decided to make the movie when he was standing behind Trump last night.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Ed. There are a lot of internet memes we were looking at before. Chris Christie's facial expression as compared to, like, Eli Manning during the Super Bowl.
Right, yeah, when his brother was, killing it on the field. And he was a little jealous, like, that could have been me. That should be me. It's not me.
He still gets jealous.
Yeah, he does.
Kurt in Park Ridge.
A lot of people are worried about Trump acting, being like Obama as far as not dealing with Congress. I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, I don't like Trump. I'm a Cruz guy. But I think he loves to deal. And I think he'd be more than happy to make deals with Congress. That he wins. I don't think he's going to get taken by Congress on anything. But I really don't think you'd have the problem that we have with Obama. Obama doesn't like anyone. He didn't make friends with any Democrats. I mean, he's just not a personable guy.
Well, Kurt,
I think Trump.
The flip side of that, though, could be if Trump, makes great deals, the best deals with Congress. Don't we have more of what we've had with Republicans self-dealing as well as Republicans dealing with Democrats, and big government gets bigger? Do we have that potential problem?
I agree with that. That could be a problem, but I mean, people are worried about him being like Obama. I think it's not. He's not even close to being like Obama.
Okay.
Obama he thinks he's the king. I don't think Trump would think he's the king. I think he just thinks he's a deal maker.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Kurt. Verlin on the South Side.
All right. I want to ask you, why is Kasich still in the race with his 27 delegates? Man, I can't stand his face. He looks like something stinks. And Ben Carson, Millie Mouse Ben Carson, he's just a guy that Sean Hannity whispered sweet nothings in his ear and got his head big, and he thought he had a shot at being president. I've never been harsh on this radio station with you guys before, but I'm going to be harsh right now. I don't give a damn about David Duke or the Ku Klux Klan. It's only about 12 of them left in the United States of America.
Yeah.
People, please, let's get serious and stick to the issues, or this country is going to fold.
Thanks for the call, Verlin. Well said. Jordan in Forest Park.
Yes, I think this is pretty simple. Trump has decided to do something that was politically incorrect. And that is, he looked at this immigration issue and said, hey, I've got a campaign issue, and I'm going to use this. The other candidates refused to touch it. And so, Amy, I'd like to say that, when politicians run for office, they never tell the truth half the time. You know that.
True.
Yep. So Trump, you don't know what Trump is going to do because that's right. He doesn't have to. He's saying what he can do to get to the next step. That's really the whole purpose of this. And I think that if it's Trump against Hillary, Hillary is going to also tap into this immigration issue. And she's going to come out saying, we have to control this. We have to control it to try to neutralize that issue.
Thanks, Jordan.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Do no harm.
It's an oath every doctor takes, and Dr. Nick Stella takes that oath very seriously.
Do no harm.
Obamacare is a disaster. Dr. Stella will fight to put healthcare decisions back into the hands of patients and doctors.
Do no harm.
With the threat of terrorism becoming an everyday reality, Dr. Stella will make national security a priority. And instead of arguing about problems, he'll focus on solutions.
Do no harm.
For too long, politics as usual has invaded Congress. As a practicing cardiologist, Dr. Stella's focus is for positive outcomes, an idea that's been lost in Washington. Washington insiders have failed us on all levels: the economy, jobs, national security, healthcare. Dr. Nick Stella has spent his career helping people improve their lives. Dr. Nick Stella will be the outsider voice we need in Congress. Dr. Nick Stella, Republican for Congress.
I'm Dr. Nick Stella, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Stella for Congress, Inc.
Got a great night's sleep last night, all thanks to MyPillow. It conforms to your neck and back. It helps if you have chronic back and neck pains, insomnia, allergies, snoring problems. Give it a try. There's a 60-day full money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty on a pillow. We love it because it's American-made, and it's also the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. There's still the 2 for the price of 1 offer, and that's not going to last forever, so get on it, as they say. Go to MyPillow.com, type Amy in that promo code, 2 pillows for the price of 1. Or just call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201 and start sleeping through the night. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Our friend Steve Moore from the Heritage Foundation joins us to dissect the arguments that were offered by the FBI and Apple on Capitol Hill yesterday. That's at 8:38.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, we're following developments off the southwest coast of Sumatra this morning, where a powerful but shallow earthquake struck this morning and could trigger a major tsunami. No reports of injuries or damage right now. Australia's Bureau of Meteorology has issued a marine warning for the distant Cocos and Christmas Islands. Right now, it's not advising evacuations. Investigators are looking at debris that could be part of Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 that vanished 2 years ago. It was found on a sandbank in the Mozambique Channel off the eastern coast of Africa. Super Tuesday lived up to its name when it comes to Republican voter turnout. More than 8.3 million GOP voters cast ballots in 9 states where both parties voted, according to NBC News. In Nashville, this voter and veteran David Butler says he pulled a ballot for Trump.
He's got an awesome view for the VA that no soldier should have, no veteran service member should ever have to wait in line, getting us in there, helping us out.
Trump ended up with 7 state wins, as did Hillary Clinton.
It's clear tonight that the stakes in this election have never been higher, and the rhetoric we're hearing on the other side has never been lower.
Rival Bernie Sanders won his home state of Vermont and 3 other contests. The Supreme Court hears arguments today in a case that could close most abortion clinics in Texas, the case involving a Texas law requiring doctors to have admitting privileges and clinics to build surgical centers in order to stay open. More snow on the way for the Chicago area. National Weather Service says that snowfall could total up 1 to 3 inches overnight. Federal agents in Texas have arrested a Gary, Indiana woman who's been evading arrest for the killing of 2 brothers in Hobart for 5 months. U.S. Marshals tracked 33-year-old Jerry Woods to a hotel in Dallas. Chicago sports, Miami beat the Bulls 129-111. Bulls are in Orlando later on tonight as the Blackhawks get set to take on the Red Wings. The news service of Jewel Osco. This week, Jewel has 1-pound packages of strawberries for just 99 cents each. Fresh, boneless, skinless chicken breasts or thighs, value packs, $1.77 a pound. And a gallon of 1%, 2%, or skim or whole Lucerne milk is just $1.99. Limit 2. 8:34. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Even after a win in Nevada, Mike Gallagher isn't ready to call Trump the nominee.
The establishment, make no mistake, these guys do not like Donald Trump. They do not like Ted Cruz. But these guys are saying it looks like it's going to be Trump. You're not going to be able to stop Trump. And I have to confess, I don't see that right now. And I wonder if that's not a bit of a game that they're playing. Because there's a lot of gamesmanship, let's face it.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Here Maps. Hit the open road with free offline turn-by-turn guidance that works anywhere. Get it for your phone at here.com/offline.
Not available in California.
Listeners, do you have startup capital and want to invest in a business with incredible profit potential? Fresh Healthy Vending, the #1 healthy vending franchise in North America, is growing fast, and we're looking for people right here in the local area to become Fresh Healthy Vending franchise owners and help our business continue to boom. If this sounds like you, we'll send you a free owner information kit. As an added bonus to new franchise owners, we'll also pay half the franchise fees. Just go to readyforfresh.com and enter code 5000. That's readyforfresh.com, code 5000.
At GoDaddy, a domain name is the beginning of something awesome. Use it to create a website to promote your business. Open an online store to sell your products. Start a blog. Build your brand. You can even connect your domain to your LinkedIn or Facebook page. And GoDaddy customer support is always ready to help. What will you do with your domain name? Get a free domain with website from GoDaddy.com, starting at $1 a month. Annual purchase of website builder required. Price valid first year only. See website for details.
$8:36 in our Chicago RadioDeals.com traffic center. Let's get the latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens Expressway has traffic jammed solid from Cicero to the junction. We're looking at a travel time of 31 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 26. Inbound Kennedy, it is an hour and 2 minutes from O'Hare to downtown. The express lanes will save about 15, outbound 36 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower, an hour and 20 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound it's 49 minutes. Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound it's now 5. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to the Loop. Lakeshore Drive, slow southbound Lawrence to Fullerton and 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Tri-State southbound heavy, 21 to 176. Northbound stop and go 95th to 31st. The Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway delays, Bartlett 53, and from the Des Plaines Oasis to Lee. Westbound Meacham to past Barrington Road due to construction in the right lane. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, AirComfort.com. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Cold with sunshine this morning gives way to afternoon clouds. We'll top out at 31 and 1 to 3 inches of snow overnight with a low of 25. 16 at O'Hare, 20 along the lakefront. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy.
Damie.
No more words, right? Is that no more words? Yeah.
A little techno song. How do you know what this? Who sings this song? Oh yeah.
Now you know.
Now
See,
I get it.
but I could name that tune in one tune.
Na na na.
That's right.
Where's the lyrics? All right, ready? Come on.
No, we've got to go. Stop screwing around. The country's lurching in the balance. We got to go to.
I don't know what hurts more: Trump's big win yesterday, or my Iowa Hawkeyes losing by 3, and they lost a Big Ten title.
Yeah, Marco Rubio is going away too. Steve Moore, chief economist of the Heritage Foundation, joins us now with his impressions on last night's results. And I know you don't do impressions; your training is in the field of economics. But give us the one anyway.
Hey guys, morning. I'm standing outside the Fox Studios in New York, so it was a big night. Up late last night, so thanks for letting me come in an hour late this morning.
Who needs Fox? Trump doesn't need Fox News Channel.
Amy is right. I mean, the two people who had a really bad week were Marco Rubio and the Iowa Hawkeyes basketball team. Look, this is a great night for Trump. He's not inevitable, but look, if Marco doesn't win Florida, he's gone. If John Kasich doesn't win Ohio in 2 weeks, he's gone. And I don't see. I love Ted Cruz. I don't see how he beats Trump. It's looking like it's a fait accompli. And I have to say, I really don't have a horse in this race, but the Republican establishment this morning, that thud you heard this morning was the Republican establishment just falling on its face like, holy cow, what hit us? This couldn't happen to a nicer group of people. All the pollsters and the pundits and the media people who hate Trump. They had it coming. And I'll just say one other quick thing. Remember when we talked a month or two ago about that dreadful budget the Republicans passed? And I said on this show, this is a big gift to Donald Trump. And it's turned out to be the case that Trump has benefited from the fact that Republicans in Congress have broken every promise they have made. And when you look at the exit polls from whether it was in, no matter what state, whether it was Massachusetts or, whether it was in Georgia or Alabama, voters said they felt betrayed by the Republican Party and they voted for Trump as a consequence.
Hey, get that cab. Hey, Stephen Moore, question for you since you were just inside Fox Studios. Is Donald Trump going to show up for tomorrow night's debate?
That's a very good question. I don't know.
Well, what'd you learn in the bathroom or in the green room or in the makeup room?
Yeah, everybody, that's the chatter about whether he's going to show up. I mean, he's got such a big lead that temptation for Trump is going to be to go into the four corners offense and just try to hold on to the lead. I think it would be a mistake for him to not debate. But the last debate, my God, I mean, he was standing next to Trump, to Rubio and Cruz and just got, bam, 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 just creamed. I have to say this as a Republican and a conservative, someone who cares about ideas. I thought the last Republican debate was a total disgrace. They didn't talk about issues. They didn't talk about jobs. They didn't talk about the economy. They didn't talk about terrorism. It was this low gutter, mud fight. And I think voters were turned off by that. Although I have to say, if you are a Republican out there listening to the show, you've got to be heartened by what happened yesterday. Record turnout in every single state. And Democrat turnout was down 25, 30%. A lot of Democrats crossed over into the Republican aisle and voted for a Republican candidate.
Well, if you didn't like the last debate, you better avert your eyes on Thursday night because Marco Rubio is going to call Donald Trump a con artist at least 42 times. So that's
right.
What tomorrow night's debate is going to be.
For him, though. Look, there's an old saying, you don't want to get into a fight with a junkyard dog. And Donald Trump is a junkyard dog. You're not going to beat him in this kind of fight. By the way, again, I'm not. You can tell I'm very. It's not that I like Trump. I like Trump's voters. They're basically putting a middle finger right into the hands of the Republican establishment, saying, "We're sick of you people. You've driven our party into the ground. We're taking over." And God bless these people. They're patriotic Americans. They work hard. They're sick of the taxes being taken from them and Republicans breaking all their promises.
And I think they've also recognized that there's a lot of Republicans in D.C. that know some of the words, but they can't hear the music. And that includes all those pundits that you just properly took a shot at as well.
I'll give you an example. I mean, there was a front page story in the Wall Street Journal about this guy, Mike Murphy. He's a political consultant.
Yeah.
He made tens of millions of dollars just running TV ads and stuff. All these ads for Jeb Bush. What did he get for it? A T-shirt. I mean, what did Jeb Bush get? He spent $2,000 for every vote he got. I mean, the amount of waste that is being spent. Now that the big rumor is, there's going to be yet another anti-Trump super PAC that's going to spend another $10 million trying to, sink the Trump vote. Look, it's not going to happen.
Well, it seems to me, here's the thing they fundamentally don't understand. I think even still to this day, even after last night, there was a reason Trump is winning in New England and the Deep South and is poised to win in the Midwest. It's a psychographic. It's not a demographic. It's not a geographic. And the Jeb or Kasich or even Rubio and Cruz, they haven't addressed that psychographic. People who have the same attitude about what's happening, whether they live in Ohio or Texas.
Yeah, that's what I find is so interesting, Dan and Amy, is that you look at what Trump did last night. I mean, he won in blue states, he won in red states, he won in purple states, he won with Hispanic voters, he got a majority of the black voters among Republican, voters. He did well with almost every demographic group. Now, the other kind of big winner last night was Cruz. Now, Cruz had a good night. He won Texas by a huge amount. He got about 1.3 million votes in Texas. He did well in Oklahoma. He won that state. I think did he win one other state?
He won Alaska.
Yeah.
He won Alaska.
But you know what? He came in second in Alabama, Tennessee, Minnesota, and Arkansas.
Right, and look, to my Marco Rubio friends, because he was the big, Marco Rubio was the big story last week, and everybody said, well, Rubio if he can get into a one-on-one race with Trump, that isn't going to happen. I mean, Rubio looks like he's going to have to drop out before Cruz is. I mean, Rubio has not. He's won one state out of 15. And by the way, the amazing thing about Trump, of the 15 states that have voted, he has finished in first in almost every state, and the states that he didn't win, he finished in second place. That's pretty amazing.
Now, did you listen to his speech last night, his victory speech? Because
I thought it was fantastic.
He seemed to take more of a moderate stance on positions.
It was great. He was gracious. He was tempered. He was not arrogant. I always say, guys, that there is a good Trump and there's a bad Trump. Right? And I hate the bad Trump, the Trump that makes fun of people, insults disabled people and minorities. I hate that Donald Trump, and it's ugly, and it's not what the party is about. But when he's on, he's on. But the big news, by the way, have you guys been following the whole thing about did you see that who was standing behind Trump in his press conference?
How could you miss him?
Okay.
Yeah.
He spoke. He introduced him, yes.
Tweeting all over the place, like, what am I doing here? Why did I endorse this guy? It's pretty funny if people want a good laugh.
Yeah, he endorsed him because he wants to be Attorney General.
Yeah, that's for sure.
On a substantive policy issue, as particularly relates to national security, it may come up in between all the insults of tomorrow's night's debate. It may come up because it's being hotly debated, including on Capitol Hill yesterday. James Comey, FBI director, was before House Judiciary Committee. So was Apple General Counsel Bruce Sewell. And Sewell said that Apple is developing stronger encryption because it's in an arms race with cyber criminals, hackers, terrorists, seeking access to Americans' electronic devices. And he said, if we're forced to write a new operating system, as the FBI wants, it will weaken our safety and security, but it will not affect the terrorists in the least. Where do you come down on this as a free marketeer?
That's a good question. I'm very divided on this. I mean, I on the one hand, my office in New York when I worked for the Wall Street Journal was right across the street from the World Trade Center, so I looked in that pit in the ground every day and reminded of the horrors of terrorism. And look, if I actually felt that some of the things the FDA wants to do could avert a bombing of a school or a shopping mall or something like that, I'd be in favor of it. But the FBI seems like it wants unlimited powers here, and the worry is that if they accede to the U.S. government, then what about all these other governments? They're going to want, China and India and Mexico and all these other countries. So I find myself quite divided. I'm a hawk when it comes to fighting terrorism, but I also think there's a private company, and I want this worked out. I want these guys. I want Cook to sit aside at the table. Across the table from the FBI and work this out. Come up with something that's acceptable to both parties. I don't want Congress to pass a bill to force this on Apple. I want them to be a good corporate citizen.
You know what? I agree wholeheartedly. And to think, too, that this phone belonged to the government because he worked for the Department of Health in San Bernardino.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, look, I think we all agree if we could use this kind of technology to track down the terrorists, I think most people would say, let's do what we can to stop the people who are trying to mass murder us. But on the other hand, privacy is important. This is a private company. They're not a functionary of the government. So you can see, Dan, I mean, I'm very divided on what the proper course is here. But I think for the government to command Apple, a private company, to hand over its technology to the government is dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, and it's difficult because there's nobody with a white hat here. You've got big government against amoral libertarian big government types over at Apple. So you just have to make a call on principle. I kind of am inclined to side with Apple on this one. But Steve,
well, did you see, by the way, the Wall Street Journal editorial? I'm sure you've read it already. There's no one who comes second to the Wall Street Journal editorial page on national security, and they came down on the side of Apple this morning.
Yeah. Good. Yep. Steve Moore, Chief Economist at the Heritage Foundation. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Okay. By the way, Trump is going to kick Hillary's behind.
There you
go.
All
right, you heard it here.
There you go.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Stephen. He joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Nice day, plenty of sunshine, but clouds by this afternoon, a high of 31 degrees. Then more snow on the way. It starts tonight while you're sleeping, snug in your little bed. And then when you wake up tomorrow morning for your commute in, you could have anywhere from A dusting to 1 inch. Otherwise, by the afternoon, cloudy and still pretty mild for this time of year, a high of 32 degrees. Travel times, how's that inbound Kennedy, Jim Talamonte?
Amy, it's an hour and 6 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. The delays are from Nagel to the Burns Circle, but you can save a lot of time on the Express, about 10 to 12 minutes. Outbound 37 minutes from downtown to O'Hare. Eden's 29 minutes to get from Lake Cook to the Kennedy. Outbound 30. The Eisenhower's brutal. An hour and 20 minutes from Thorndale to downtown. An hour and 2 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 49 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound clear. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State delays are in pockets between 95th and 31st. Then from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway bottled up from Barrington Road to 53 and Elmhurst Road to Lee. Westbound Roselle to past Barrington Road due to construction in the right lane. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
You know you secretly want to be a rock star, and Chicago Radio Deals can put you one step closer to living out your dream with an amazing exclusive deal for Midlothian Music. Feast your eyes on a Taylor mahogany and spruce grand auditorium, acoustic and electric guitar. It is a full-size, handmade instrument, and it's one of Taylor's most versatile shapes, perfect for the finger-picking player or strummer in you. Now, this gorgeous guitar retails for about $1,000. It's half the price at ChicagoRadioDeals.com. Midlothian Music is dedicated to bringing you the best selection of American-made, handcrafted instruments. And keep the music going with piano lessons from American Music World in Forest Park. An 8 30-minute lesson series is only $50 at CRD. That's $6.25 a lesson. American Music World is renowned for its dazzling array of pianos as well, so check out the deal for their certified pre-owned Yamaha upright piano. And remember to share your fabulous finds with friends at ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
I feel great. I've always felt pretty good, but once I started taking them in September, I couldn't have felt any better. Everybody in my household's been sick through the holidays. We've had bad snowstorms here, and I feel great.
This is a wonderful thing. I'm really getting a lot of benefits from it. I'm 70 years old. I'm going to be 71 in April, and I just feel generally much better. I would also say there have been all kinds of colds and flu around me, and I haven't caught any of them. I have arthritis, and that has not been as much as it used to be by a long shot. So
I'm just doing what's right.
In many areas.
Good health is just a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Call now and take the health challenge to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement.
When I was elected by the people of Texas in 2012, I promised I'd fight for the Constitution and the people it was designed to protect, and fight to secure the borders and stand for the rule of law. I promised I'd fight the Washington insiders when it came to spending and our national debt, and for the conservative values that made this country great, without apology. When I got to Washington, I did just that. I fought Obamacare, the Gang of Eight amnesty bill, and the debt ceiling limit. Some of those fights got me in trouble with members of my own party, but I wasn't elected to serve them. Now I'm running for president, and I need your help. Please help my campaign fight back against the establishment. Help me help all of us to take our country back. Give $10, $25, or $50. Let's show the establishment elites that we the people are the best hope for America. Go to cruzcrew.org now. Please, that's cruzcrew.org now. I'm Ted Cruz, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Cruz for President.
AM 560, The Answer.
I love this fast food joint.
Oh,
It's not really a fast food joint.
It's
It's
Peter Gabriel.
Well, I love him too. It's more of an experience. Chick-fil-A.
How do they always know just what I want? Especially the Chick-fil-A franchise in Suwanee, Georgia. Chick-fil-A franchise in Suwanee, Georgia.
Yeah.
Cell phone coupe program. Chick-fil-A wants you to put down your cell phone and enjoy a tech-free meal. Is offering the restaurant chain offering customers in 150 stores now, thanks to this the brainchild of this operator in Suwanee, Georgia. A box for families to ditch their devices while they chow down on waffle fries in store.
So they just have a box there at the table that everyone puts their cell phones in?
I guess.
That's a great idea.
Uh,
Because if you noticed, I mean, real quick, if you notice when you go out to eat, mom's on the cell phone, dad's on the cell phone, kids are on their cell phone. No one's talking to anybody anymore.
I know, that's how I like it. We really want to provide. We really want our restaurant to provide a sense of community for our customers, where family and friends come together and share quality time with one another," said the owner of the Sewanee, Georgia Chick-fil-A franchise, who came up with this. Families who are able to go a whole meal, making America whole again, like Hillary said, without picking up their phones, receive a free Chick-fil-A ice dream cone.
Oh, wow.
So I get away from my phone, which is great because I don't want to communicate with other people, and I get ice cream on top of it. This is brilliant. Genius.
You used to be so addicted to your phone.
I am.
I mean, you still are, but you used to be, like, if you can see this.
Yeah. Right. Well, I know.
And you had the BlackBerry, so it was like you're shucking oysters, that noise.
That's my connection to the outside world.
Well, now you have, you got rid of your BlackBerry, right?
Well, I got a smartphone,
Oh, yeah.
like all the kids.
all the cool kids have.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All the Bernie Sanders voters who hate capitalism. I got one too. Yeah. So what do you think about that? Ditching the phones, we got a message from a program director. I mean, always be closing. ABC, always be closing. Second place, set of steak knives. Third place, you're fired. The only thing you should be doing on your phone is using the AM 560 mobile app.
Oh, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Shameless self-promotion.
Exactly. Well, it's the era of Trump, so we should be in the business of shameless self-promotion. But the idea of no cell phone, I used to eat breakfast at this place called Ina's that was in the West Loop,
Yeah.
which subsequently closed, but it was a cell phone free zone. And I kind of resisted it at first, but then I thought,
But then you got hungry.
well, but I thought it's just nice. It's nice to not hear people blathering on the phone. It's nice to just kind of have quality time with yourself because, of course, nobody would ever break bread with me, so it was just me. But it was nice to be away from my phone.
Your only friend.
A, B, C. A, always B, B, C, closing. Always be closing. Always be closing.
Discover the wonders of Mexico's Pacific Paradise with Apple Vacations. Nestled between the Sierra Madre Mountains and the sparkling Pacific Ocean, Vallarta Nayarit provides the perfect blend of culture, adventure, luxury, and pristine beaches as far as the eye can see. Book during the Apple Vacations Spring Super Sale and take advantage of the biggest savings of the season. 7 nights at Plaza Pelicanos Club Beach Resort start from only $8.99. Or make it a full week at Royal Decameron Complex starting from just $9.39. Both trips include round-trip non-stop air, resort transfers, all meals, drinks, and taxes. Call Traveloni at 312-334-7876 to book your trip today. That's 312-334-7876 or visit Traveloni.com. Puerto Vallarta and Riviera Nayarit. Mexico. Live it to believe it. Prices per person based on double occupancy for select departures starting May 7th, including charter air on Alaska Airlines from O'Hare and taxes and fees including September 11th security fee. See applevacations.com for baggage charges. Prices subject to availability and change. Restrictions apply. PC 15088.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. That's where Upstream Ideas comes in. Upstream Ideas, online at upstream-ideas.com, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted orthodoxies. In other words, Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now to upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had numerous credit cards, and I was struggling with paying them off, so I made the call.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360.
The people at Trinity are very friendly. They will do whatever you need them to do in order for you to feel better about being in a very difficult place.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360.
Thank you so much for joining us. We had a wonderful morning here at our AM 560 The Answer Studios. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 5 a.m. Our thanks to David Stripling, the technical director, And Cesar Perez, our executive producer.
Shake and bake.
We'll see you here tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, a powerful shallow earthquake strikes off the southwest coast of Sumatra in Indonesia. Fox is following developing details and a developing tsunami that may result. More snow could be on the way for the Chicago area, and the Bulls lose a third straight. WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. It's being called the biggest abortion case at the Supreme Court in 25 years, and justices could be